wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. Change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. It's about you. I would never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. You're radiant. Do you need anything like I need you? It's over. Do you need anything like I need you? Listen to what I need. Put a picture so I can see. February can't chase the days away. Yeah, away. Why listen to what they say? Save yourself for another day. This one's coming, it's gone to the wind again. Yeah, again. What's up, people? For as long as you've ever been, but you're down again. It's just like you to pull off what you thought you couldn't think today. The lost stranger, the wonder familiar face. Broken hearts made of pieces that shake. I've had one too many of them. Yeah, let's go stop the stupidity. Now we pretend. Let's go, boss. Dude, let's go laser. Uh-oh, Bob Weir's dead. Oh shit, the Grateful Dead. Just like snow castles, we drift to the edge. Just like snow castles, we drift to the edge. Just like snow castles. Just like snow castles, we drift to the edge. Oh, we drift. Let's go!
Dude, my voice is all over the place. To the edge. Hey, how we drift. Oh, shit.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Dude, I have like this crazy like voice crack happening like right in the split of my register. That shit is wild, bro. Like there's like a duck noise right in the, it is like right on the edge. Like those of you who've done some singing, you have these two registers, like your chest voice and your head voice. And like right in that crossover point, man. I'm still, you know what it is? What it is I'm still like sort of gassed from the Fortnite streams, right? Those 12-hour Fortnite streams with a lot of screaming. That is that's what really sort of guts the voice. And I mean, it's a pretty common problem. When I would be on tour, I would have to deal with that a lot. After a couple of nights, you sort of like, your voice gets thrashed. A lot of water, a lot of slippery elm. Lot of slippery elm. Melt ice, maybe one more Big Mac for the mango moose knuckle. Let's go, Disturbed. Dude, slippery elm is like the godsend, okay? If you guys are singers or speakers, I actually have some. I should probably like use some regularly. Laser said, morning. What's the actual reason for having the same printed signs in different cities? Is that from organizers? My MAGA uncle keeps posting about it. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know about the similar signs. I mean, it probably is from organizers. I have no idea. I have no idea. I do know, though, that there are national organizations that support messaging with protests. And so, I mean, they may be templates that they're getting from like No Kings or from Occupy Democrats or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea. I have no idea. Indivisible, yeah. But I will say this. I will say that like I've noticed something today. Let me just start. I think this is a good segue to something that's going on today. So I have this tweet that's going viral today. That is this one right here. Okay, about MAGA keeps saying we voted for this, but no, Minnesota actually voted against this. They voted against Trump and his agenda. So did Illinois and California and Oregon and New York. So why is Trump sending ICE everywhere that voted against his agenda? Now, what's crazy about this is this has now found its way to MAGA, okay? If we go in here and look at the little, the little priority replies, you see that people like Dinesh D'Souza have co-opted this thing. A lot of MAGA people have gotten onto this. Maybe it's not showing up now. Yeah, like Dinesh, okay, there are a lot of people on the right wing that have gotten a hold of this tweet. And so it is crossed over. Like it started on the Democrat side, and now it is crossed over to the MAGA side. Now, the reason why I bring this up, I'm gonna tie it into the protests in a minute, because I've been discussing with people, okay? I've gotten in here and I've actually gone back and forth with people and had a lot of discussions with MAGA people about this, because of course, most of them don't want to admit that Trump is targeting blue states. They're just like, oh, federal law, these people are illegal. And they don't even understand the nuances of our immigration law, how in America it is illegal to cross the border, okay? But once you've crossed the border, if you get away with crossing it, it's not illegal to be undocumented. Okay? There's no law that you're breaking if you are undocumented. Okay? So there's this weird nuance to this. But one thing I noticed from these replies, guys, is they are consistently posting shit like this, like saying, oh my God, like Oregon's really red, right? Because of these huge red areas, even though there's no fucking people here, boss. There is like as many people in all of this red as like one fucking blue square. Okay, so they believe these red maps are some indication that, man, there's way more of us than you. You guys are just these tiny cities that are somehow outvoting us all. Okay, and dude, look at them all. Okay, look at them all, right? They're all like the land voting. Okay, all of these posts in here, there's so many posts about the land voting. Okay, look at this idiot. But right, you know what I'm saying? They're doing this land voting thing. Oh yeah, like look at all these counties. There's 50 counties to 10 counties. But like, bro, there's no people here, guys. There's no people. The biggest town in these counties has like 3,000 people. There's more people literally in my fucking neighborhood than in this entire lower corner, bro. Okay? I live in an urban part of town, okay? There's more people in my neighborhood community than in this whole square down here. But anyway, so part one is they have convinced themselves that we're like, there's not really any of us, that the blue voters are a tiny minority that are dwarfed by the red voters. And in fact, we're only winning because of cheating. Okay. Because look at this. Wow. Oh my God. Look at that. I can't believe blah, blah, blah. Right now, that's part one. They're clinging to the land voting. And part two, though, they actually believe that every protest is just a paid op. Okay, now I don't know if they actually believe this or if they're just trying to use this as like some type of ammo. Because really, like, do you really? Look at this. Did you actually pass any classes in school, or don't they teach government? You know what I'm saying? Right? And Oregon voted like this. Like, what does she think she's telling me? You know what I mean? Like, Oregon voted like this. Like, yeah, dude, there's nobody in this red, bro. Oh my God. And then you have this thing, dude. Look at this, dude. Like Nick Sortor, all these guys. Okay, look at this shit. You ready? Here he goes. Watch this. As soon as he sees a protest, look at this. Right? These paid protests are happening nationwide. Okay? This is, again, guys, this is part of their narrative of everything's paid. It's all George Soros. It's all like these aren't real people. They're people in America don't really feel this way. They cheated in the election, right? It's just this constant refrain that everything that disagrees with them is false, is non-existent. Isn't it wild? I mean, dude, it is mental. It is mental. And the irony is the one guy that's on their side that is buying their social media network has more money than, right? Like George Soros, like Elon Musk literally makes George Soros money every month. Okay. All of the money that George Soros has, Elon makes in a month, right? Isn't it wild? I mean, it's like the level of gaslighting and extreme mental illness is off the charts, okay? It is off the charts. And I'm telling you guys, in my replies, if you look in the replies of this tweet, there are so many people saying this. Okay, let me see if I can find some. Right? It was rigged. Right? Like the fucking Democrats, Somalis, you know what I'm saying? Bloody, bloody, blah. Okay. I mean, dude, it is like insane, right? Everyone's saying that like blue states are cheating. This is not really fucking, you know what I'm saying? It's like wild, bro. It is wild. Like, it's hard to understand with some of this, okay? For me, it is hard to understand if these people are dumb, right? Because those states have fraudulent elections anyway, right? So there's this insistence that if your state is blue, your state's not even really blue. Your state is red. It's only blue because of fraudulent fake elections. Like, dude, that's the grapple we have. That's kind of like what we're fucking sort of like grappling with. You know what I mean? Again, election fraud, right? Election fraud, right? Dude, fraud. You know what I mean? All of those votes were stolen through election fraud. Now, I don't know how many of these are bots, okay? I don't know how many of these are bots, guys. I really don't, okay? You know, it's possible, illegal voters, it's possible that large numbers of these are bots because this number, guys, right here has exploded, okay? This number earlier today, even though this number was like 20 grand, this number was like 1,000. And now what has happened since the right wingers have taken this and have started like quote tweeting this, like the Dinesh people, this has exploded. You know, does it list where they are? I mean, let's look at some just to see. Okay, like this one says illegal voters. Let's look. And it says this one is United States. That is an old fucking, 2015. That's an account, but that's where the illegals are. You know, many of these may very well be the United States. Right? Now that doesn't mean they can't be fraudulent as well, right? There are certainly bot farms here, right? But this one, obviously with a whole bunch of numbers, seems really fucking like really unusual, but they are United States, you know what I mean? I mean, we certainly have bot farms operating here in the US and right, we do. But dude, the numbers have exploded. Okay? Right? Have exploded here. You know, and with right? It's pretty wild, boss. How once the right wingers got a hold of this, the refrains just sort of grew. Okay, they just sort of grew to stop the cheat, right? But all of these appear to be U.S. accounts. You know, a lot of these accounts, though, are relatively new, right? MAGA is brain dead. Dude, MAGA is pretty brain dead. They are, right? You know what I'm saying? Like when you see it, like when you think about this, like who is this account? Who's a person, right, that is walking around with pictures of like fucking Declaration of Independence signers and George Washington and shit as their profile, right? Like who's doing this? Like what kind of goon, you know what I mean? Somebody who's gooning American history, dude. Dude, elite, let's go, baby. Dude, isn't that funny? Right? Isn't that hilarious? Oh my God, bro. Dude, I like this comment. You ready? Look, where is it? It's this one. Look at this. It says, because he's the president of the United States, not the president of states that voted red. But like, yo, homie, does somebody want to tell Trump that? Right? Those accounts are probably foreign. They probably are. I mean, so much of this is like botted. But dude, it is crazy how this shit has grown. Right? How this stuff has mushroomed today once Dinesh and these other goons started getting a hold of this. Dude, shit is going ape. Dude, isn't that crazy? That's Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin. Dude, what are we doing, boss? Lot of red. Lot of red. But like, man, people will argue. Like MAGA likes to argue about the nuances of immigration. You know? And meanwhile, there's, you know, ICE is now going door to door. Right? ICE is now going door to door. Dude, it's pretty crazy. Dude, these protests are wild. All right? They are. Dude, it's a lot of people. Dude, we should be pissed, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should be fucking pissed, bro. I just don't. Right? I just don't get it. So again, just put the link in Discord. All right? Like any links you want us to check out, just put them in Discord, and you know, we can, like, if we get to it, we'll peep them. But there are protests, okay? There are protests that are like breaking out across the country, right? What if it's a 13-minute video? I mean, like, you can simply just put the shit in Discord, because I do look through that. That doesn't guarantee I'm going to go in there and I'm going to, like, look at them right away. But I'm saying, like, I go through Discord and look at the shit that's in there. And also when I'm looking on my own as well. So everything you put in Discord, like, I will eventually look at, right? Because obviously there's so much going on, and ultimately it's a little complicated here, okay? Because I have two things going on, okay? We have our audience that come and watch the stream, and then I have my audience that watches the YouTube videos and listens to them as a podcast. So it gets a little complicated, because the things that you guys like to watch in the daily streams and the things that the people who watch my YouTube videos like to watch in the YouTube videos are actually two different things. There's some overlap, but there is a like, I have to cover some of the stuff that the audience that watches the YouTube videos watches as well. So that's where it gets like a stickler. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's where it becomes a little bit of a stickler, right? Because it's hard, because I don't always cover everything, right? Because the live audience and the YouTube audience are unfortunately two different audiences, right? Dude, it's weird how YouTube is. Like YouTube is so like niche, right? It is so niche. You can understand Chinese algebra better than Discord. Yeah, see, Discord is literally just, all Discord is it's like Instagram DMs with no Instagram, right? Right? Oh, so Signal doxed all of ICE employees and their social media. Interesting. So there's a news article about it. Interesting, right? That is fascinating. Yeah, but so the thing about that though is like I can't really cover that, Aria. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't post that shit on YouTube. I can't look at that a list of people that have been doxxed. That will literally like get me banned. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you can talk about it, but like I'm not gonna look at that shit on YouTube. Like that is an insta ban. You're not allowed to do that shit. And I personally, guys, I disagree with that stuff. You know what I mean? I like disagree. I think doxing is a pretty serious invasion of privacy. And even though I would like to support it because, oh, ICE is like doing this bad shit, I just think that like you got to be careful with that because the right wing does that a lot. That's really a right wing tactic. And I pretty much disagree with it. Having been doxxed, I think that puts people in harm's way. And because we don't know everyone's fucking story. Now, I understand why they do it, right? That like, you know, but I personally don't really engage in that behavior. I don't, because I've been there and I've dealt with that shit. And you know, what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, except, you know, go cause harm. I mean, the problems are beyond just the individuals that are like doing ICE shit. I mean, some of the individuals are doing ICE shit because they're you know, they're toxic and wrong, and they're trying to harm people. And some people are probably really need that $50,000. And, you know, I mean, you may have noticed that, you know, when you say, yeah, but ICE is terrorizing people, they are, but like, what are you going to do with that information? You know what I'm saying? Like ICE are terrorizing people. And yeah, we should be asking for our legislators or city and local governments should be passing laws that make it so they can't wear masks. And maybe our law enforcement should be arresting them. But my thing is like, if you post the private information of these people, like, what are you going to do with that information? You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to go to their house and like hurt their family? Or are you going to, or what happens if you post that information and somebody goes and shoots their fucking wife and kids? How are you going to feel about that? You know, I mean, because a lot of them I don't think are even at home. I think it just adds a whole bunch of shit. Like, if you want to hold them accountable, I think you hold them accountable on the job and shit. But my point being is posting doxing and shit like that could harm children and innocent victims that aren't part of ICE. And that's where it gets sketchy. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I'm a very vocal person that people find somewhat inflammatory. If they dox me and hurt my girlfriend who has nothing to do with my voice, I'd be really upset by that. And I hope, you know, I just think like, I think even with these toxic people, their private homes should be their private homes. And if you're going to out them or something, it should be something that takes place like while they're on the job. I just, I personally, and I think it's because I've been doxxed and I know what that shit feels like. And it's pretty dangerous, right? Congress should have the names of them. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think, Congress, like, absolutely, like, I don't see why Congress wouldn't have the names of them, But again, like, guys, you got to understand that, like, I mean, I'm not going to be talked out of this, okay? As somebody who has dealt with doxing, once you deal with it, you'll see that it's not something we need to be engaging in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm certainly not engaging in that shit because I just disagree with it. I think it's a harmful tactic that puts a lot of innocent people in harm's way. You got polling says data shows 50% of American public dislikes what ICE is doing. If they ramp up the aggression, so will the public. Yeah, I mean, I think we should fight them in the streets. And I think, you know what I'm saying? I just don't engage in that behavior. You know what I mean? Because if you say, oh, you agree to disagree, so then you're fine with them doxing me and you're fine with them doxing leftists, you're fine with then you getting doxed for doxing them. And I just think that like why do we, you gotta draw a line somewhere, right? You know what I'm saying? So I draw the line there, and I'm comfortable with that. If you want to post that shit on your social media and stuff, it's Cakeys. Let's go. Appreciate that membership. I mean, again though, guys, it's not legal, okay? And it's something that could cause me to lose my YouTube channel. So you're welcome to do that on your own social medias if you want to risk your shit. I'm not risking my shit to dox a bunch of ICE employees. Like, it's not worth it to me. I like my fucking life. I like my community. I like my social media channels. And so I'm not going to fucking lose them over some ICE employees. To me, it's just not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Right? Dude, let's go. Dude, let's go. I think that person was joking, right? But like, yeah. So I mean, I don't know, right? I mean, I don't know, like, you don't want to post it. You wish that ICE agents would realize their government doesn't care about them. ICE is doxing themselves. Oh, got you. Like, ICE is doxing themselves. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't even know. I don't think they care, though, right? You know what I mean? I don't think they care, right? I don't think that the internet or the ICE agents, like, I don't think the people who took the ICE jobs are taking them thinking the fucking government cares about them. I mean, dude, there's like a thing that I saw earlier today, which was this one right here. Look at this. There's this guy right here. This is a great to show the mentality of these guys. All right. From 𝗙𝗪𝗪 posted this video, right? These This guy right here. All right, watch this. I mean, just watch. Okay, you ready? Now, prepare yourself. Okay, prepare yourself for what this guy says. But watch what he says here.
Shame on you.
Listen, have y'all not learned from the past couple of days? Have you not learned?
Learned what? What's our lesson here? What do you want us to learn?
Following federal agents.
Give me my phone.
Okay. Have you all not learned your lesson here in the last couple of days? And then he goes in about like following federal agents or whatever, and he grabs her phone. Like, it's not illegal to follow federal agents. It's not illegal to film them. But like, isn't that crazy that this guy is this guy is like, these guys are saying, you know, like, shouldn't this woman get shot in the face? That should like teach you something, right? It is an underhanded death threat. You know what I'm saying? And it is an underhanded death threat. You know what I mean? He is absolutely, it is a veiled threat. And guys, though, this is the entirety of the Trump methodology. This is not an accident. This is what Proud Boys do. This is what white nationalists do. This is what the KKK did, right? Remember the KKK, guys. You know what they did? They went and they found a black family and they burned a cross on their fucking yard. And that burning cross was a message. It was a message that if you get out of line, if you like speak up too much, if you push back too much, you know what's going to come next. Next, it's going to be a rope and a tree, okay? And I mean, these guys this is like the modern day KKK. Now, the difference is the KKK was exclusively these white rural people sending a message to black people and or the white people that help them. And now it is sort of these mega Proud Boy J6er ice chodes trying to send a message to like all Democrats. And so, guys, they do need to be removed. And you know, let me just tell you, to go back to that initial doxing conversation. I'm not going to feel bad if these guys are doxed, okay? I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, the poor ICE agents. I'm not. I understand why people would dox these guys, and I understand how people want to put them, you know, people are trying to put pressure on these guys, hoping it will change them. I'm not personally engaging in that behavior. I don't think that behavior is really going to work. I think that these guys are pretty militant. And so the thing that I'm really wondering about is something that happened earlier today, and yesterday, you know what I'm saying? Right? And John Doe, I don't know what you're after here. You seem to be sort of antagonizing and like attacking me. And so like if you're going to come into my chat and you're going to now start like calling me complicit and antagonizing me, I mean, dude, I don't know what to do with you. I'm not going to sit there and listen to you fucking like attack me because you think I'm not being militant enough or whatever. That's like, you're way out of line. So you do need to watch your step there, boss. I don't know what your goal is there, right? You're now attacking me, saying I am complicit with ICE. Like, dude, what is your point, boss? Right? I'm not responsible for fucking ICE's behavior. Like, dude, you know what I mean? Like, that's just fucking ridiculous. Hold on one sec here. I gotta find my fucking my stream chat here. There it is. There we go. Perfect. No, there it is. All right. Dude. Like really? That's where we're at now? Right? Is that really where we're at now? You know what I'm saying? Is like you're coming into my chat and saying because I won't engage in doxing behavior, I am fucking, you know what I'm saying? Dude, right? Like, I'm sorry, you know? Dude, what the fuck, bro? Jesus. You know, I mean, dude, it's like people need to get a grip, okay? Like you do need to you need to get a grip, guys. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like I don't know, dude. It's like it's like the thing that is bothering me is that, like, you know, because like the thing about this that's crazy is the people who engage in that type of behavior where they just poke and are like, you're complicit, you're the one causing this. Like, dude, we're all complicit. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all complicit. Okay? And you know what I mean? Like, we're Americans. You know, you don't get to escape this America. You know, but like, you know, I don't know. I'm not running around like shooting at people or engaging in harmful behavior. You know, that is like, you know, this idea that you can point fingers. It's what's crazy about it though too is I realize that people are freaking out because a white woman was shot. But like, we talked about this yesterday about how, you know, Black people have been dealing with this for hundreds of years, okay? And you know, my thing is this. My thing is I'm not going to be goaded into like a violent sort of response, and like nothing's preventing you from your own behavior. You know, I mean, I keep seeing these people, and it's on Twitter too, and there are like, there's a sort of crop of people that are like insisting that like, no, you need to get out there and you need to take some violent response, right? And it's like, I don't know, like the people, you don't see the people that say that shit doing that behavior. They're like button pushing and they're like sort of trolling, you know what I mean? And like, I don't know. I just think that like I'm not, as the right wing does really negative shit, I am not going to start doing the same negative shit. You know? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's the first time it's happened to a white woman, so people don't know how to act. Yeah, no, I know. There's a real, like, I don't know. It kind of saddens me a little bit because there's a real, you know, the white people are sort of freaking out about that powerlessness of watching it. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just a lot of like, you know, I don't really want an armed rebellion. You know what I mean? I don't really want an armed rebellion, you know? And I don't think there's anything wrong with not wanting that. You know what I mean? I mean, that's not going to, if you think about it, if a war breaks out between the people and these ICE agents, if you think that's going to lead to peace and some better tomorrow, it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's going to lead to like more instability, possibly a you know, a dictatorial person that's worse than Trump that like seizes control in the middle of that. You know, You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you think about this, guys, you ready? Can I drop some revolution on you? It was 200 years. Okay. Well, not 200. It was like 140 years of recovery time from the Civil War. And the minute we sort of hit a comfortable recovery, we got Donald Trump and have reinstituted like doing battle with America's sort of racism and dark underbelly. Like we still are fighting the battle of the first Civil War. You know what I mean? Like we still have not overcome that. We're still arguing along, like the parties have changed. The Southern Democrats switched over to the Republican Party, but we're still fighting that dividing about states' rights and all this shit. You know, it's like, it's pretty crazy. You know what I mean? Dude, I don't know, man. You know, but you know, I don't know, dude. Some of this stuff is just sort of making me sad. You know what I mean? It is. It's kind of like making me sad that, like, you know, I don't see the sort of immediate fix. I mean, there is one thing that I would like to see. Okay, you ready? There is one thing I would like to see that would be something aggressive. Okay, right? Something aggressive that would tip their hand. And you know what it is? It's related to this. Okay, you ready? Here's something I think that would be considered an aggression that I think would be allowable, and I would like to see what it is. But it is this. All right? It's coming to you from Philadelphia. Okay? And it's this. You ready? Okay? Now, I don't know if this is accurate or if this is AI. I mean, I think this is accurate. It's hard to tell, but like, here's a statement.
Good afternoon. I'm 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗪, the sheriff for the city and county of Philadelphia. And I say her name, Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. This should not have happened, but we're here today. Let know that law enforcement professionals, real ones, not the fake made up ICE, probably Trump's new army to attack citizens of the United States. Did you hear what I said? No law enforcement professional wears a mask. None. None. Those that come into our communities wearing a mask to commit crime, thank God for our district attorney, Larry Krasner, who say he's going to lock them up. And I'm saying now, we are not going to whisk you away for them to hide your identity, because when you do it there, you're getting arrested there. No whisk away for them to hide you. None of that here. None of that here. Law enforcement professionals do not shoot at moving vehicles. I'm not saying fleeing, because she wasn't fleeing. She was getting out of the way. Law enforcement professionals do not stand in front of moving vehicles invoking an action that is illegal. No, we don't. And so we stand here today with all those who stand against the made-up, fake, what you can call ICE, professional law enforcement. I don't call them none of that. I call them made-up, fake, wannabe law enforcement.
They are rent-a-cops.
Because what they do is against not only legal law, but the moral law.
Yeah, they are definitely breaking the law. But hold on, I have some thoughts about this. Let's finish it up.
So I'm with the DA, and we will work with them If any of them want to come in this city and commit a crime, you will not be able to hide. Nobody will wish you off. You don't want this smoke, because we will bring it to you. And the fake, whatever they call them, because I can't say the name, but the criminal in the White House would not be able to keep you from going to jail. 𝗍𝗍 should be here today. And to her family, we are saying law enforcement professionals are not the ones here in this city that would do that. But here's the last thing that I will say. Law enforcement professionals around the country do their job, and we have been fighting for years to build that bridge between us and our communities. You have one negative nutcase that causes this problem, and now we all have to fight again to let people know law enforcement works with communities. These crimes would not be down if we didn't have communities work with us.
All right, so here's why I bring this up, okay? Because we, as a population, we should protest, and we should protest, and we should continue filming these guys, and we should continue holding them accountable, right? Like even when Jonathan Ross ran away, we found out who he was. They, whatever, leaked his information. Now there's protests. The citizens are speaking up. But I think it's going to come down to law enforcement, local and state law enforcement, taking action against these rogue ICE people, okay? Law enforcement should be arresting them, and then it forces ICE's hand. Are they going to shoot cops? Are they going to go to war with our police? That is calling their hand in a way that, like, they can't really recover from, right? Because if we dox them, show up at their house, if we take physical action against them, they will hit us with the arm of the government, and they have the power to crush us individually. I mean, we can surround them in a group and block them and shit, but if we take individual action, they will put the full force of the government against us. But if law enforcement stands up to them, they then have to make a choice, because that's a different optics, okay? Look at the optics of what happens with MAGA when the ICE kills an innocent woman. MAGA will support them. Any Democrat or any leftist or any protester that goes up against ICE and gets shot, MAGA is going to support ICE no matter what happens. You know this. But I think if ICE shoots a cop because the cop's arresting ICE for doing something wrong, that's an entirely different beast, guys. Okay? And I don't believe this is being complicit. I don't believe this is like passing the buck. I think this is like being smart about it, okay? Smart about this. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want any more people to die needlessly, but we do need certain institutions to stand up and do shit. You know what I'm saying? We need institutions the same way that, like, when Columbia folded with Trump, right? Or CBS folded with Trump. Like, we need some institutional support in addition to just us, the people, okay? We really need to rally for some institutional support, okay? We do. And I think that I'm not sure how we encourage that necessarily, but I know that part of it has been won in the courts. Okay, part of it is if you look at Pritzker and Newsom, and here in Oregon, the Attorney General of Oregon, institutional support defeated Trump with his National Guard game. Okay, that's a good example. Okay, these big figures and their attorneys generals took on Trump. Trump was trying to National Guard to override the state governments, and he lost those battles. And now he's like got ICE out there being rogue. And I think the next step is the state National Guard or the state or city law enforcement holding ICE accountable. And there's been a little bit of that with them passing like no masking ordinances. And I think that is sort of the next step of the battle to be fought. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I think we do want to be smart about this and not have a bunch of like innocent, citizen fighters getting gunned down. Okay. Because I'll be honest, guys. Okay. After what we watched with Renee Nicole Good, I don't think citizens dying at the hands of ICE is going to move the needle very much, guys. They're literally arresting citizens. They're breaking bones of citizens. Now they're murdering citizens. It's not moving the needle. I think if we keep dying at the hands of ICE, that's not going to move the needle. I think the needle is a level up here. I really do. I think the needle might be a slightly level higher than mere citizens. Okay. I mean, I thought, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll shake out a little differently. I mean, we are seeing protests, but like this, you ready, guys? This is a result of Renee Nicole Good dying. Okay. Renee Good dies. And now we have one police chief and a DA, Krasnov, in fucking, right? What's his name? Is it Krasner in Philly? It is Krasner. I said Krasnov. Dude, I'm so fucked up, right? My head is all over the place. But we have Krasner and the police chief making a verbal stand. Now, why did I bring this up? Okay, because Homeland Security tweeted something today, guys, that was pretty offensive. Okay, did you see this tweet? Let me find this, where Homeland Security tweeted this like this. Look at this. Oh no, it's immigration. Okay, ICE tweeted this and said Philadelphia Sheriff 𝗙ص𝗶𝗹𝗀 should resign before she embarrasses herself any further. Arresting ICE officers, try it, see what happens. Okay, with their usual threat. And I said, what are you guys going to do? Are you guys going to shoot some cops in the face? Like, you know what I mean? Like this, try it and see what happens, takes on a whole different like tone if they're shooting police officers or if they're shooting National Guardsmen. Okay. And so my thing is we, I'm not saying we don't fight, guys, but what I am saying is we can't let our local institutional power off the hook and leave us to die. We have to like pressure our local institutional power to make a move against these thugs. And we need them in our corner so it's not just us dying at the hands of ICE agents. Okay? This is an important step. And I believe the death of Nicole Good is an opportunity for this to happen. You know what I'm saying? This is an opportunity for this to happen. And I think it starts local. I think it starts local. Like if there's a city council meeting, if there's places where you can go appeal to your local jurisdictional government and let them know, you know what? We really want some local laws here. We want a non-masking mandate for law enforcement here, and we want you to enforce it. We want you to protect us from these thugs, okay? And not simply leaving us to die here while you stay cowardly, okay? And so, it's an uphill battle, but I think there are some fucking jurisdictions where we can win this. I mean, we can't do it alone, guys, okay? We literally can't do this alone. You know what I'm saying? We have to be like pressuring our local jurisdictional people. And yes, go out and protest. Okay? Go out and protest. Sheriffs are like, sheriffs may be a key to some of this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, and stop saying that midterms aren't going to happen. Midterms are going to happen. Okay? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, stop inflating Donald Trump into this, like, all-powerful deity. Okay? Midterms are going to happen. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, look at this, though. Like, look at this, guys. Okay? This is immigration threatening police now. Okay? Dude, Republicans, yeah, I know, but like, you know, Hassan tweets that. You're literally, Bradshaw is literally quoting Hassan's tweet. Okay? And again, though, this is part of the hysteria that's going on. Okay? Is Hassan tweeted that today, right? And Bradshaw literally fucking like quoted his exact tweet, which is Republicans are moving like there's not going to be any elections, is what he said. Okay? Where was it? And like, but like, so what's your point, Hassan? You know what I mean? Like I'm wondering when he tweets that, right? Let me find it. Right here. There it is. Republicans are moving like there are no more elections, by the way. Now, what's his point in tweeting this? You know what I mean? Like what is his point in tweeting this? I mean, is there some truth to it? Sure. But this is not the first time that Republicans have behaved like there's not going to be any more elections. I mean, they literally flipped Roe v. Wade. Okay? They literally do the most insane shit always. Okay? You know what I'm saying? They literally, but like, what does this mean? Is Hassan like arming up? Is he going to lead some like armed resistance? Because like, I don't think this is motivating people to get together and take action. You know what I'm saying? This is like, you know, I don't know. I'm just not exactly sure of what the point of this is. I mean, I know it's going to explode and get like a ton of attention, right? When you look at it, like compared to look at his regular tweets, right? I want to show you something here though. Look at this regular tweet though of his. Is a regular tweet, a big one will get 30,000, right? A normal tweet, whatever, quote tweet might get 5,000, but this one is like 100,000 likes. This type of stuff gets a lot of activity. It really churns it, okay? Now, the thing about this, guys, is Republicans have always acted like there's no consequences for their actions, okay? They've always acted that way. As long as I mean, literally, George Bush lied about weapons of mass destruction. Okay, he lied to invade a country and spend 20 years occupying like fucking Afghanistan and to pass the Patriot Act. And like there was going to be no consequences whatsoever. They crashed the fucking economy. There were consequences. Obama won the election. But you know what I'm saying? Like, this is not new of the Republicans to behave this way. And what's more, though, guys, is the time to fix this was in 2024, was to marshal all our resources behind Kamala Harris. And you know what I'm saying? And so, like, I don't know. I just don't see what the point of this is. You know what I'm saying? I don't see what the point of this is. Like right now, a very powerful tool that we have, okay, is that, you know what I'm saying? Is that we have to like be active. We have to actively attack these elections. It's important to fucking not like make people feel hopeless about these elections, guys. Okay? This is a very, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just, this shit bothers me. Okay? This shit bothers me because it's like making us, it's like insinuating that, oh, they're already rigging the election. You know? You know what I'm saying? Dude, it's, yeah, I mean, dude, we have a lot of work to do in this election. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of work to do in this shit, you know? And you know, I worry about this because I love Hassan and I get it. Like, okay, the Republicans are doing that, but like, you know, this is just so open, right? It's one of those open things that like we need to be focused. We need to stay focused on the upcoming elections. Okay. And you know what I'm saying? So the thing about this May money is if we win the midterms, we control the House. And if we control the House, we can thwart spending and we can investigate. The House is the investigative body. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And so it is very important that we control the House. And right now, I think we need to not lose hope. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, though. I get it. If you look at this, I get that this is like, you know, fuel and feed and, you know, it is gruel for his sort of base. Right? Because he has a base of people that fantasize about some armed revolution, even though the base of people he has that fantasize about armed revolution would never actually start an armed revolution. They're just online leftists that fantasize about that stuff. But like, dude, we're not going to get another shot at these midterms. Okay, guys? And what's more, is the time to mobilize was during 2024 and to make sure Trump didn't win. And I was watching people say, oh, Kamala said this, or Kamala did this, or Kamala's to this, or Kamala's to that. And now we have our backs against the wall. And now those same people are saying, well, now it looks like there's not going to be any elections anymore. It looks like this shit is all over with. Like, we're already done. We're already cooked. And dude, I'm frankly getting a little tired of that energy. I don't think it's helpful. I think I want to see Hassan's community like getting the vote out. Okay? I want to see Hassan's community going door to door, knocking on doors and letting people know the importance of these elections so we can show up and win by 20 fucking points. So all of their voter suppression and their rat fucking of the election's not going to defeat us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and again, I'm not upset at Hassan, right? I realize, you know, like everybody, we're all just playing the characters we have in our political commentary. Okay? We all have characters we play that speak to our audience, and the bigger our audience gets, the more we fucking slide into character. Because we're all making a living, right? He's making a living, I'm making a living, and maybe he's not going to make as much of a living if he says, yeah, everybody go support Kamala Harris, because a lot of his community doesn't want to support Kamala Harris. But I want us to get on the same page right now. And I just, you know, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we need Hassan, okay? And when you say chicken whisperer, you say she sucked. Look at what we're dealing with right now. Okay? Like that's ridiculous to say she sucked. Dude, you know what I mean? Like, you see what we're dealing with right now? Like, come on, man. Dude, she's like worlds better than where we're at now. Like worlds, 100-fold. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You know? And guys, we need to get together. And maybe I'll fucking reach out to Hassan personally. I don't know. It's like maybe hard to reach him. But like, dude, there's some weird shit going on, guys. Okay, and it's not just Hassan. Like Keith Edwards today. Okay, dude, we need Hassan. But then, did you see the Keith Edwards drama today, guys? About Jasmine Crockett? Okay, dude, the Keith Edwards drama was pretty weird. Okay, because some centrist made a comment about Jasmine Crockett. Let's watch the comment, okay? Like, let's look at this. It's this comment right here. Hold on, it's this one. You ready? Watch this. Here we go.
Anytime a politician is making it too obviously about themselves, I'm already done.
We're out.
Don't waste your money sending to Jasmine Crockett. Do not do it.
I must agree.
Don't do it. You're going to waste your money.
Okay, so now these guys are actively saying like they're taking shots at Jasmine Crockett during the Senate primary. Why? Because they're worried that Jasmine Crockett is going to win against Tallarico in the primary, but then they think Jasmine Crockett, the black woman, can't win in Texas. Okay, even though they think Tallarico now has some magic crystal ball. Okay, now this is a little controversial because the whole point of the primaries is supposed to be to support whomever you support, and you vote with your heart, you vote with who you want to see, and then whoever wins, we're supposed to get all behind. But now we have this little Bernie thing brewing where now they've already decided that Tallarico, maybe he can't beat Jasmine Crockett in the primary, but if he could win the state. But like, guys, the key to winning the state is winning the primary, you know? And I mean, you know, they're like, I mean, they could have a lot of issues with her. It could be corporate. It could be they think she's too close to Israel. But like, dude, Tallarico is like, I mean, he's a Christian. You know what I'm saying? He's a white Christian man. There's no reason to think that once he got Senate power, he isn't going to like support Christianity in a way. I mean, at the end of the day, dude, everybody is saying what they think is going to get them into office. And then look at Fetterman. Once they get into office, a lot of times they change. But anyway, you know, so what's crazy though is this, right? Is he posted this and then people got on him, but look at what he posted after that. Okay, where this is kind of crazy to say. Okay, and I don't know what his like situation here is, but he says one of the reasons someone like Nick Fuentes, an actual racist, is ascendant is because insane people on the left have weaponized racism so much and stretched its definition so far that the word has lost all meaning. And I was like, what is this tweet? Right? Like, I know he's got a point in there somewhere, but I'm trying to figure out what it is. Right? Like, he's basically saying that, like, ooh, leftists have called people racist so much that now the word doesn't mean anything. So an actual racist like Nick Fuentes is ascendant. But like, guys, first off, like, there's a lot of Nick Fuenteses in America. There's like tens of millions of Nick Fuenteses in America. And in fact, if you go back 70 years ago, most of America was fucking Nick Fuentes. Like Nick Fuentes has become a lot less dominant than previously. And the only reason he's become ascendant is because he's walked in through the door that Charlie Kirk opened and that Donald Trump opened, which is kind of like bringing back this fucking old 1940s sort of racism. But like, this is crazy that like saying we've weaponized racism so much. Like, really? Only a white guy could say like, man, you've weaponized, you guys are really on the left have weaponized racism too much. You're right. That's really a white guy's sort of mentality. And so like, dude, I don't know what's going on with him. And I don't know, you know, cause dude, I like Keith Edwards but like, this is some weird shit brewing. Okay. This is some weird shit brewing. And then, you ready? It gets crazier because now you know who else gets into it is fucking Taylor Lorenz, okay? Because, dude, let's go. Shout out to me. Thank you, Chris. Let's go, baby. So now she blocked me, okay? But Taylor Lorenz has gotten into this. And she says, where is it? She says, right, hold on now. She is, we find her tweet here, okay? Where is it? She's still talking about Chorus, guys. She used to follow me, but she blocked me. She blocked me she blocked me over the Chorus thing. All right. But where is it? All right. You find her tweet. Actually, I'm going to go back to Keith's page because I know he reposted it. All right. We'll go back to Keith's page. Okay. Where is it? He posted this. Okay, right here. Okay, because it says, this person says, the way the mob is going after him just because he criticized a black woman, your race does not make you a good candidate, nor does it make you above criticism. He is objectively correct, and chronically online leftists are seething. Dude, L.A. Brooks, let's go. Well, Brooks, we love to see it. All right, we love to see it. So this guy is saying, whoa, all right, like, you criticize a black person, and now you're getting in trouble. Now, again, guys, the thing about this is I don't want to get too polarizing here. I don't think it's about necessarily criticizing a black woman, but it's about that, like, we're feeling a leftover of, like, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, a black woman, lost the election. And so now everybody's like, oh shit. You know, like they're worried about a black woman winning the primary in Texas because then she's going to lose the Senate when, like, dude, Beto didn't win the fucking, he lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've had a continued Senate losses in fucking, right? Continued Senate losses in Texas. Okay, now, the thing is like, I didn't hear a criticism of her specifically. What I heard this guy saying is just don't waste your money on Jasmine Crockett. And he did kind of take a shot that, like, she makes it all about herself. But guys, you know what's really hard is like Jasmine Crockett. If a white man said the things Jasmine Crockett said, no one would accuse him of being selfish or being arrogant or being inflammatory. It's like when black women speak up and call shit out, they get called aggressive or selfish or right, narcissistic. Like, you know what I mean? But now, anyway, look at what Taylor Lorenz said. So she said, this is wrong. Leftists are the ones who vocally hate Crockett for good reason. Blue MAGA liberals are the ones melting down because that's her base. The centrist Dem Chorus 1630 fund creators support Crockett. Leftists hate her because she's pro-crypto, pro-Israel corporate shill. But now, again, here we are with Taylor Lorenz. Okay, Taylor Lorenz is... hold on, let me get back to this. Taylor Lorenz is still on her Chorus thing, right? Still on this like Israel litmus test thing, okay? But like, what is this gonna do, guys? Okay, look at what she says. She's now got leftists. She's got a faction of the party she's calling Blue MAGA. And like, really? Is that helpful? Right? Kids Cat, let's go. Love Crockett. We need our strong black women to be supported. They do the most work for positive change. I'm just saying there's nothing about this post that is going to help us win in November, guys. Okay? You know what I'm saying? There's nothing about this post. Like this blue MAGA concept is like there is a group of like pro-Palestine leftists that call people who disagree with them even remotely, they call them blue MAGA. But like, really, guys, MAGA were sort of extreme purity testing versions of the party that took over the party. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, dude, no, Natalie, Keith's post is not helpful. I 100% agree with that. Like, Keith's post was fucking ridiculous. And now he's aligning with, you know, retweeting somebody insane who's like faction creating with the whole fucking blue MAGA. I mean, to me, guys, you ready? If I were to say who is blue MAGA, blue MAGA would be people who want to take over the Democratic Party, okay? And people who want the most extreme action from the Democratic Party. Whomever that is would be blue MAGA, because that's what MAGA was. MAGA was the most extreme Republicans who wanted to physically take over the party and conquer the establishment of the party. So if we're wondering who blue MAGA actually is, it would be the most extreme factions of the left that want to take over and commandeer the Democratic Party. That certainly is not me. I get called blue MAGA, okay? I get called blue MAGA by Taylor Lorenz, right? Because what their blue MAGA is has something to do with a perception of Israel, okay? They're like for me, I'm not pro-Israel, okay? And I think divesting from Israel and cutting off Israel is important, and certainly putting Benjamin Netanyahu in jail for his war crimes is important, okay? I do. But I also know that some people in our coalition are Christians and are going to be pro-Israel. And so, like, they're not going to become not pro-Israel if they're deeply fucking Christian Democrats. That's tied into their religious thing. It's like not even about the party. You know what I'm saying? So like, we do have to put up with some pro-Israel Democrats because of the existence of Christianity, you know? And like, unfortunately, we don't have a coalition without those pieces as well, right? But I just don't think calling people blue MAGA, like, you know, I'm not going to run around and call Hassan blue MAGA, because, like, why would I do that? Why would I try to alienate Hassan? Why would I try to alienate, you know what I'm saying? Why would I try to alienate? You know, you say blue MAGA are people who vote conservative, but MAGA are not conservative, guys. MAGA are not conservative. You know what I mean? MAGA are not conservative. They are extremists. Okay? Thomas Massey is conservative. Mitt Romney is conservative. MAGA are not conservative. They are very extremist. They like, conservative people don't want tariffs. Conservative people don't want fucking, you know what I'm saying, invading random countries and shit. Conservative people don't want to arrest every opposition person. Dude, MAGA is, yes, Confederate. Better way of putting it. Thank you. Bailey, right there. There you go. MAGA is Confederate. Absolutely, dude. That's more like it. You know what I mean? But again, though, guys, these terms right here, like look at in this one tweet, okay? Taylor has identified leftists as hating Crockett for good reason, so that means they're the good ones. She's identified blue MAGA liberals that are the people who support Jasmine Crockett, which I guess is like black people. All black people are blue MAGA liberals, right? You could infer from this tweet. And then she says the centrist Dem Chorus 1630 fund. So she's still on the chorus, like identifying that, like, but again, all of this has some sort of Israel tone to it. this is like 𝗙𝗪𝗓 land. Like Taylor Lorenz is one step away from supporting Tucker Carlson. You know what I mean? Dude, she's like 4 like step jumps from being a Tucker Carlson supporter. But all of this is not helpful, right? Because I don't want to call Taylor Lorenz blue MAGA or Hassan blue MAGA. I don't want to call fucking, like Brian Tyler Cohen chorus. Like Brian Tyler Cohen is actually pretty progressive, okay? He supports the Democratic Party because he wants to win, but he's actually pretty progressive. He's a progressive guy, right? And so, like, this is so, like, antagonistic and separating. You know what I mean? It's, like, so, like, and so I guess, all right, January, that's fine, okay? That is fine that, like, January we're doing this, but, like, guys, we're in election year now. You know what I'm saying? We're in an election year now. Let's not do what we did with 2025 again. Dude, somebody called for a dance party goal. I'll get that going, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, we got an election. We're in an election year. Now, again, I don't hate Keith Edwards. I don't even hate Taylor Lorenz. I certainly don't hate Hassan. I fucking love Hassan. But, like, dude, we need like people together. You know what I'm saying? Dude, we need like a little bit of fucking, we don't need kumbaya. We can all hate each other. But goddamn if we don't realize that we need each other. You know what I mean? But see, this is, to me, guys, hold on. Dude, why is my goal not working? There it is. There it is. Let's go. All right. Dude, and again, I don't want to harsh on anybody. I'm just trying to figure out how we can get together, boss. There's a lot of fear because Kamala lost. Israel Bibi has caused a lot of this. Yeah, no, Disturbed, you're not wrong, boss. I mean, thank you for that membership. There is a lot of fear because Kamala lost. Okay, there absolutely is. There's a lot of fear because, $1 billion was raised and shit. But, like, dude, at some point we got to sort of lose the purity testing or at least, like, lose it for our own side. You know what I'm saying? We got to fucking figure out a way to sort of, like, unite this shit. You know what I mean? Dude, you trust Hassan like you trust Cenk, which is absolutely no trust. Dude, Disturbed, let's go, baby! Dude, I like Hassan, but I sometimes feel like his militancy, which is playing the character that feeds his audience, I sometimes believe that militancy is not as helpful as he could be, okay? Like he's doing that because he wasn't like that 4 years ago, guys. His audience has gotten more extreme, and he now has a character that is a more extreme version of himself playing to that audience, okay? And he was not like that. Dance Party LFG, let's go. You're the voice of reason, Tommy. I'm trying to be, okay? And dude, we need Hassan, and Hassan needs us. You know what I'm saying? It's just hard, though, because you know what it is, guys? Let me just tell you, this is what's hard. And I don't mean this as a slam. He is young and his base is young, but like, guys, 5 years ago, he wasn't like independently wealthy from content creation. He grew, he was from a wealthy family, but he wasn't independently wealthy. But now he is leveled up personally. He is made it into the upper class. So now, win or lose, he prospers. Okay, he does not have his back up against the wall in a way that many leftist creators do. Okay, that aren't in that upper wealthy. He is from wealth, Wrench. His whole family, Cenk and him, they're all connected to Turkish politicians. Their whole family line is from a lot of wealth in Turkey. They are. Their family is very powerful, long-standing political family in Turkey. Tremendous amount of wealth. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that he's personally like sporting around like a trust fund like 𝗙𝗙𝗹𝗹𝗪 or anyway. But he now though personally through his own content creation has moved into a tax bracket that makes him immune to political change. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has an immunity from it now. You know what I mean? And I'm not like, I'm not slamming him because, like, dude, whatever. You're wealthy, you made a bunch of money politicking, that's great. Like, fucking A, dude. I want to make some money too. But I don't really like the term champagne socialist because I think you can be wealthy and still be a socialist. I do, guys. I don't think you have to be poor to be a socialist. Them's better get this ish together quick. Let's go, Kim. I will say this though, guys. And it's not even about the wealth necessarily. It's about like all of us as content creators have a little bit of audience capture to deal with. You know what I'm saying? We all do. This is the secret sort of like bad side of content creation. Okay? You know what I'm saying? This is the secret bad side of content creation. Like we all, so the thing about this, okay, right? The thing about this, guys, is that we all of us content creators have to deal with a little bit of audience capture. And I think we have to manage our audience capture in a way that we try to keep the coalition together. Okay. But here's what's hard though, guys, is, and as I grow, I'm going to deal with this too. Okay. We're all sort of dealing with it. What's hard is it's just like the US government. Okay. So let me give you an example. So if we go to the House of Representatives, okay, we go into the Senate, and we look at those reps and we think those guys represent us. And it's like, no, they don't. Okay. If you look at Amy Klobuchar, she doesn't represent us. She's trying to get federal money into Minnesota. Okay. If you look at Chuck Schumer, he's getting federal money into New York. If you look at Ron Wyden, he's getting federal money into Oregon. And then if you look at all of the House reps, they're trying to get federal money into their 700,000 person district. So everybody is really out for their own. And it's no different in content creation. Okay. Hassan is trying to grow his brand and feed his brand in order to build the Hassan brand and get more millions. I am trying to grow my community and make enough to fucking support my lifestyle and support my family and grow a community and have a political effect. We're all trying to have a political effect. Now, the thing that gets sticky is me and Hassan and Keith Edwards and Brian Tyler Cohen and Taylor Lorenz. We're all on the same side. So we all need to support our shared political apparatus if we want to win the election. Now, if we don't care if we win the election, we can say, fuck the political apparatus. I'm just going to feed my fucking big base here, because even if, Trump wins or the Republicans win, now we have more to fight about. We can be more like, man, we need a revolution. People are dying in the streets. They're taking over. It's fascism. That's really going to activate my base. And I'm going to get a tax cut, and I'm going to make more money because everyone's scared and upset. Because I'll be honest, guys, you ready? What the Republicans are dealing with now is, if you're a political commentator, you make more money when you're the loser. Okay? Right? You make more money when you're the loser. If Kamala wins, all the Democrats make less money, and the Republican commentators will make more money. Okay? If the Trump wins, the Democratic commentators will make more money, and the Republicans right now are not making as much money, which is why they're trying to drum up so much drama, because they're literally making less. They were making more when Biden won. That's just the way it works. Like, the way politics works is you make more and you get more, like, you have more activity when you're the loser. That's when you're fighting the power, okay? It's like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's absolutely like, that is true. Like, it's a dangerous land for us to sort of, like, you know what I'm saying? It's a dangerous land for us to sort of, like, like, we could sink the shit. You know what I'm saying? They're saying those things because she's black. Yeah, I know they're saying those things because she's black, TC. I don't think Jasmine Crockett is a hardcore, like, fucking Israel corporate shill. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, dude, I don't know. A lot of this shit is, like, creeping me out. A lot of this feels like veiled racism. Dude, we need to forget purity testing this cycle. Yes, Disturb. I agree. Dude, Nick Nameless, if he would have endorsed Kamala, we wouldn't be here. Let's go. Dude, Portland Frog arrested. Link to article in Discord. We're going to look at that in a minute. Thank you, kids. I got to catch up here. Dude, Kimberly says people now wish they would have voted for Kamala. Dude, I think a lot of people are thinking, man, I shouldn't have voted for Kamala, right? You know what I'm saying? And so like, I don't know, guys. I just don't think this is helpful. Okay? And so, like, Taylor Lorenz was literally 1 year ago. Taylor Lorenz was my friend. She followed me while I was on vacation in a hot tub in fucking at the beach. And then I sent her story ideas and gave her inside information on Aiden Ross and some other people during, like, when reporters were looking into it. And then, as soon as I asked her some questions about the whole chorus attacky thing that she's still talking about, now there's like a Dem Chorus 1630 fund creators, right? Now she blocked me and I've become the enemy as well. And it's like so crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like so fucking, like, crazy that, like, why are we doing that? Dude, and we wonder how we got on in this mess. We're not even talking about the Epstein files anymore. Yeah, well, Kim, don't give up hope on the Epstein files, guys, because the main reason, okay, let me just tell you guys, the main reason we're not talking about the Epstein files isn't because of Maduro or even because of Renee Nicole Good. The reason why we're not talking about the Epstein files, guys, is because they're sitting on them. Okay, they are operating lawless right now. The Trump administration is. Every day they're defying a federal law and they're not releasing anything. And they're just holding this shit. And now a whole bunch of people in Congress are trying to figure out what to do next. What is the path to hold them accountable? Because remember, guys, when people at that level break the law, it's the executive branch that fucking is in charge of, like, commandeering them, right? Right? You know what I'm saying? Dude, it's like we're in a spot where we're trying to figure out what to do. And I'll be honest, guys, I feel like the platforms are suppressing it a little bit too. 8 months ago, I used to post shit on Epstein. It got a lot of reach. And now when I make Epstein videos, it usually rarely does it go outside my subscriber base too. There's been platform manipulation on the Epstein files that I'm kind of trying to figure out how to end around as well. There's been algorithmic sort of fucking like shifting, You know what I'm saying? There's a little shit. There's some shit going on, right? Some shit is going on right now, guys. We are in, YouTube in particular changed a lot in fucking at January, and I'm still coming back from my ban, right? Trying to get my footing for my ban. Stop stupidity. Let's go. Guys, we're over halfway there, dude. Let's go. And we got Magnolia says we lost most of our money when Trump took office. Dude, yeah, my crypto lost half its value, right? My crypto is back on 2022 levels, right? Because they all sold it off, right? Trump like exploded the crypto, and then all of those big whales sold that shit off. Dude, it's tough. Dude, stickers and flyers of Trump and Epstein, stick them everywhere. That's actually a good idea, guys. That is a good idea. But yeah, I don't know what we do about this. I mean, I honestly, there's a bit of a division going on now. You know what I'm saying? And like, right? And so like, you know what I mean? And hyper partisan hero a la Adam Schiff, Katie Porter, but like this is crazy though because Adam Schiff won the Senate race. You know what I mean? And like so this is pretty interesting that this person is comparing Jasmine Crockett to Adam Schiff and Katie Porter because those two are not comparable. Okay? Adam Schiff is the hyper partisan liberal hero and Katie Porter is the powerful representative who overstepped her bounds running for Senate. Now, it is possible that Jasmine Crockett is the Katie Porter part of that equation, that maybe her immense popularity in her district and her feisty sort of, like district personality is not conducive to winning the whole state. We did see that with Katie Porter. That we didn't see it with Adam Schiff, okay? Because Adam Schiff was able to win the whole state, and we knew he was going to win the whole state. I think here's the thing, though, that's problematic, guys, is Texas removed Jasmine Crockett. They removed her. They removed her fucking district. They cut her out because she's a threat, okay? They cut her out because she is a threat. And now I don't understand why our own side is looking her as a threat. Because obviously she's a threat or they wouldn't have eliminated her district. So we need to make space for her somewhere, right? You know what I mean? And if it's not the statewide race, where can she be a spokesperson, right? Where can she go? You know what I'm saying? Schiff is center right. Yeah, but Bingewood, the problem is like, many of the states, you need a little bit of a right-wing tinge in order to win the state, okay? That is what is complicated about some of the statewide races, right? It's like the difference between, winning a congressional seat in Wisconsin and winning the Senate seat in Wisconsin, or winning a congressional seat in Detroit and winning the Senate seat in Michigan. Somebody like Alyssa Slotkin is more likely to win that Senate seat in Michigan. Somebody like Zoran Mamdani would win a House district in Detroit, right? And so it gets a little complicated when you zoom out, And now, though, everybody is experiencing this fear because of Kamala Harris, right? Like Kamala Harris is planning to run for president again, and a lot of people are down on that. Okay. A lot of people are like, are like very gun shy with Kamala Harris, which I totally like, I get, not because of Kamala Harris, a little bit because of Kamala Harris. Like there's just parts of her personality that weren't like, I don't know, super conducive. Like her prosecutorial self was great in the debates and it's great in Senate hearings, but it wasn't that great just talking to a voter. You know what I mean? Especially if it was a voter that disagreed with her in some way. Her prosecutorial nature. I mean, Kamala Harris reminds me a little bit of me, where like for me, if you disagree with me, I can be perceived as a little bit inflammatory. Okay. Because I have a little bit of that prosecutorial lawyer mind. Okay. I mean, people have been seeing it in my videos where I'm covering the shooting in Minnesota, where they're like, wow, you're kind of like a lawyer. And I am, right? All my friends in college are lawyers. If I had gone into a regular profession that wasn't music, I would have been a lawyer, okay? Because I am a super rational, storytelling, like rule bending, and then winning approval for it type political person, okay? And yeah, see, this is what's hard. Litigator, prosecutor, investigator. I am very lawyery in the way I operate, right? The way I break things down. Political litigator, right? Dude. And so like Kamala Harris is like that too, but it's easy. Like that personality operates best when you're skewering and carving up. It doesn't operate very well when you're trying to win somebody over, right? You know, I mean, you're trying to win the jury over, but that's like the jury are people you selected. You had to pick, right? Like prosecutors pick their jury. But yeah, man, see, you know what it is, guys? I think I know what part of the problem is, guys, is the Dems, we have more than one base, okay? Everybody says the Dem base, right? If you go to Taylor Lorenz and Hassan Abi, they think the Dem base is the leftists, okay? If you went to Kyle Kulinski and Crystal Ball, they would think the Dem base is, you know, like Medicare for all progressives. If you go to a lot of the centrist Democrats, they think their base are independents and black women. Okay? And what's crazy about it is all of those are true. The Dem base is leftist. The Dem base is Medicare for all progressives. And the Dem base is independents in middle America. And the Dem base is black women. Right? I mean, we have multiple bases. Okay? It's just a size contingent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and then there's youth. There's a youth vote, but like black women, 95% vote for Democrats across the board. So black women are the most reliable voter base of the Democratic Party. Black women are 100%. Okay? 100%. And black voters in general are the biggest base of the Democratic Party. Absolutely. Okay? Absolutely. The problem is that they're only 13% of the American population. So if you only have that base, you aren't going to win any elections. You know what I'm saying? Right? And so that's what complicates the Dem Party is our base is not enough to win the fucking election, right? And in fact, you ready for this? Here's the conundrum that Bernie Sanders taught us accidentally, is that many of the independents in the middle of America that we need to win some of them in order to win elections, they're a little nervous about their tax dollars paying for the health care of our base of black voters. And that's a conundrum. The white independent middle American voters, right? dude, Kimberly, I love all of them. Dude, I love all our factions in America. I do. We do have a huge tent. Conservative Dems ruin any progress, sadly. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if conservative Dems ruin any progress. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if conservative Dems ruin the progress. I'll be honest, guys. I think progress is not even about conservative Dems. I think the progress is ruined because American voters go back and forth. Okay? American voters go back and forth. All right? If you go back to the last time we did a long-standing single party, it was like FDR, and then they made it so you couldn't go more than 2 terms. Like, America literally just changes her mind every 4 years. That middle group of voters switches. They go Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat. They go all Republican president, all Democrat fucking Congress. And so we're in a constant state of gridlock, right? Where we are constantly, oh, well, we have a Republican Congress. Let's put a Democratic president in there. And so we are in a constant state of gridlock because we didn't get instantaneous change. And so then we just switch it up, bro. Yes. I mean, we're uneducated. Dude, we go back every 4 years. I mean, like, if we could just vote all of the Congress and the presidency Democratic for 6 terms, okay? 6 terms. We would have a changed world, okay? But we don't, right? I mean, if we go 6 terms voting Republican, we're going to have a fascist theocratic government. And if you vote 6 terms for Democrats, you're going to have something very, very different than that. But we won't. We just keep fucking bouncing. Every 2 years, we're like, oh, right? We had Obama, and then we got Obamacare. And then what happened? Like, in his second term, they completely flipped the Congress, and it was constant gridlock. You know what I'm saying? Like America has literally been creating our own gridlock as voters. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, we just keep, like, can't make up our mind. We won't commit, guys. We won't commit. Disturbed, let's go, baby. All right, dude, I'm going to go to the bathroom, then we're going to finish up the dance party, and then we're going to talk about some more shit. Okay? Dude, we're going to fucking, you ready? We're getting through this. I'm going to try and bring us all together, right? Because corporate conservative Dems don't even try to address the material issues. I mean, you know, guys, it's not specific to corporate conservative Dems. It is like, it's all, our whole government did that. They kept their partisan issues, like, as we got into gridlock, the both political parties kept their issues, right? They didn't sort of ensconce their issues so they could have the voting winning issue, and everybody kind of became one issue voters. Okay, we've all become single issue voters, right? Some people, their issue is abortion. Some people, their issue is LGBTQ rights. Some people, their issue is, you know, congressional spending, right? And we need better messaging. That wouldn't hurt. Kids Cat, let's go. Thank you. I think we as a voting populace have become uninformed. We've gotten a little apathetic, and a lot of us have become single issue voters, right? Like, you see somebody who says, I won't vote for anybody who takes AIPAC money. And if the Dems have any AIPAC money takers, then fuck the Democratic Party. That's a one issue thing. Or somebody who's like, I won't fucking, right? If you don't say, like, tax the billionaires, you're a horrible person. You know what I mean? Like, we take one little thing to disqualify, and like, we've all been engaging in this. We all have our personal sort of purity tests or whatever. Snow puppies dig their heels in. They do indeed. I mean, we gotta rally. If we could just rally behind one thing, okay? If we could rally, it is very entitled behavior. But at the end of the day, though, Evil, you ready for this? Disturbed, let's go. Thank you, boss. And I have one more thought before I go to the bathroom. Pinky, let's go. I want to share with this thought. As much as I hate what's going on with ICE, okay? I hate this ICE stuff. killing American citizens. There's kind of a war on our streets. But guys, Americans have been so entitled. We've never really had a war on our streets. Everybody else in the world has had a war on their streets. Okay? Except maybe Canada. But Mexico certainly does. South America, warring with the government, the cartels, internal divisions. Europe, they had fucking Hitler, and they have had plenty of wars there. We have not had a war on our streets, okay? And now we're experiencing this. And it's illuminating because it's like, wow, man, like we're starting to get a taste of reality. I mean, it's not really any different. Maybe it's a little more complicated because, you know, obviously we had a war on our streets in the Civil War, but that was, you know, 140 years ago. Okay. It's not been in recent memory. And that was us fighting us. And we're still us fighting us. You know what I'm saying? We may be headed for another civil war. It seems like some people want to encourage that. And like, so I don't know, dude, but this war on our streets thing, like, man, maybe it's going to hit home and get us fucking, you know, a little bit of togetherness. We are very sheltered. We are very entitled. I mean, even this conversation we've been looking at with Keith Edwards and Taylor Lorenz, these are two very entitled people that are talking about Jasmine Crockett, and they're talking about the reality of Jasmine Crockett as they see from their position of entitlement, you know, but like, you know, I don't know, man. That's, you know, Jasmine Crockett is, you know, representing a whole bunch of people that believe in her, and she makes them believe that they can fight and stand up. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, white with money. I mean, white with money usually, even if they don't vote Republican, white with money doesn't get hurt when Republican, right? And that's really what's hard. White with money, you don't suffer under the Republicans, okay? It's dangerous. White or white passing with money, man. You don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so I don't know, man. I don't necessarily have the answers. I'm going to go to the bathroom, though, and we're going to politic some more, guys. Hang tight. I'll be RB.
Blinded by the stars in my eyes. I would never disappear when I'm open wide, if it's most of the time. I've been sinking here, 'cause I can't seem to make up my mind. You say your innocence is all that I desire, and that I'm blinded by the stars in my eyes. It's true, I've been dreaming of you. Nothing I take can help me escape that truth. You need me, well, I need me too. You say the evidence is found in my denial,
Well, let's go.
that I'm blinded
A leftist
by the stars.
doesn't admit we got to tax the billionaires. Dude, we know we got to tax the billionaires, right? We know we got to tax the billionaires. And there also is a possibility that in certain races, you might not talk about taxing the billionaires, and you might just do it after you win the race. Okay? There's a difference between what you say and what you do. For example, Obama distanced himself from gay marriage. He won the election and then he brought us gay marriage. Okay. If he had been openly gay marriage, he may not have won that election. Okay. There's a time to be openly vocal about shit. And then there's a time to be a little more subtle with what you say and take the action when you get in. And it depends on the place and the situation and the candidate. And taxing billionaires is popular. It is popular in certain areas. In certain areas, Bernie Sanders never caves. Yeah, but Bernie Sanders also like didn't win. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to learn a lesson from Bernie Sanders is he never caves, but he also like, you know, didn't win. And he, you know what I'm saying? And it's a possibility if Bernie Sanders had played it slightly different, right? He could have won in a different way. Like maybe Bernie Sanders could have played it different and recognized the Trump situation and he could have found a way to partner with Hillary. He would have had to eat a lot of fucking crow and like, you know, do a very significant dance of like coalition building. But like Bernie, I love Bernie, but Bernie is an antagonizer. Okay. His whole career is him being the lone voice who doesn't take any side because Bernie's the purity way. But that's why he also doesn't have a lot of allies in Congress. Okay. And so what you saw was like what Bernie did with the child cancer shit, where there was a child cancer thing and Bernie wouldn't vote for it because he's like, it's not Medicare for all. So he kiboshed child cancer funding to hold out for Medicare for all. And Bernie does that. He's like, does that leftist Joe Manchin shit at times. Okay. And he's doing it for the greater good, but it also has consequences. Okay. He's a little bit, he's not a coalition builder. He's more of a purity like statesman, and he gets the big crowds, but outside of Vermont, he doesn't really win the elections necessarily. Right. And I'm curious what Bernie's going to do in 28. Okay. I have my eyes on Bernie because who's Bernie going to anoint in the presidential race? Because he's too old and we need him. You know what I mean? We need Bernie. Dude, we need Bernie. He's got a lot of clout. He's got a lot of pull. He has a lot of pull with the white Midwestern voters. He doesn't do so well with the black Southern voters. In fact, they can't stand him. But so he's a complicated figure, right? Bernie is. And dude, like, but we need Bernie too. We need Bernie. We need Hassan. We need Bernie needs to be the leader. Bernie's not really a good leader. He's only a good leader when he's like the head of the caravan. Okay. I mean, Bernie is great, but he's a little demagogue-y, guys. He's not like Mamdani. Okay. Mamdani is like Bernie with the coalition building. AOC is like Bernie with the coalition building. Bernie is like the Bernie builder who can't really build a coalition. And so like he can't really do what Mamdani does because Bernie doesn't make nice with people that are opposite him the way Mamdani does. Okay. You know, so it's going to be interesting to see who he passes the torch to though. Because dude, no, there absolutely wouldn't be a Mamdani without Bernie. And there wouldn't be Mamdani without Trump, really. You know what I'm saying? But like the thing about Bernie is Bernie can win it for us or Bernie can sink it for us. Like Bernie has the power to sink it for us if he goes off the rails. Okay, he has that much clout. He can sink the Democratic coalition. And I think that's dangerous if not used right. You know what I mean? He can get the leftists super soured to where they're just heartbroken and crestfallen and maybe some of them get apathetic, you know? You know what I mean? But so we'll see. We'll see. I'm curious how it's going to work out. But it's already sunk? No, it's not already sunk. No, we're going to do great. So you're saying do not piss him off? No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. I think Bernie, Bernie needs to be challenged at times And then if he sinks, he sinks. That's his decision. But I'm not going to step around fucking Bernie. I'm not going to like, oh, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, he's not like the coalition builder. But I did want to say something I was thinking of in the bathroom. And this is about the Senate race in Texas. And this is about James Tallarico and Jasmine Crockett. And my thing is, guys, is I don't know if either one of those can actually win the state Senate race. But for me personally, I trust Jasmine Crockett's black fighterness more than I trust James Tallarico's white Christianity. Even though James Tallarico appears to be moderate and a broker among sides, and he tries to be this rational guy that is a different kind of Christian, I don't really trust extremely Christian white men, okay? I don't. And Tallarico is no different. You know what I'm saying? Is no different. I mean, I like what he says, and I see he's been elevating his star and trying to take it from that state house to a national race, and he's trying to elevate his star, but like the white Christian man, I just don't fucking trust them in power because I know that their Christianity is foundational, and no matter what they say, it is still foundational, that there are certain things that come from that Christianity that is, you know, if the country leans toward Christian authority, they're not going to stop it. They may not be the ones pushing the lead, but like, I don't trust white Christian men in government anymore. Okay. That's like my take. I just don't trust them anymore. And so if I were in Texas, I would vote for Jasmine Crockett in that primary. And you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I would. Okay. And then whoever won the primary, I would get behind them, even if it was the white Christian man. But like white Christian men, I don't trust them in governance. Okay. Because a lot of times they are in a place of such privileged detachment, and they are so close to the center of the power source of like the white supremacy that backs America, that they're just not going to fight against the internal structure, because the internal structure is literally them. You know what I mean? So they may not, you know, like lead us into fascism, but I don't think they'll fight fascism like the same. Okay? I think their Christianity is a form of fascism, right? And I think Christians of color have a little bit of a different experience, you know? You know what I mean? I mean, I don't like any of that Christianity, but a lot of times, you know, Christians of color are still fighting against that system a little bit. It's hard. It's hard. It's complicated, you know? So, and I don't know if that's right. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all complicated because we all have our own triggering shit, right? Like some people out there, like there was a guy in chat who said, man, anybody who doesn't tax the billionaires, there's some people who like, if you don't say tax the billionaires, they're like, fuck you, I'm not voting for this person. Or if you don't say Medicare for all, they're like, I'm out, I'm not voting at all, right? Like we all have our like things, you know what I'm saying? I just think, you know, I think in the Senate race, I think it's important to have Jasmine Crockett in that primary, even if she doesn't win, because I think her anti-Trump voice is important. Okay? It is important. And I think the energy she brings to the black base of voters nationwide is important. Okay? And I wish like my white Democrat friends would all like fucking get off the black women's cases. You know what I'm saying? Just in general, whether it's Kamala, whether it's Jasmine, whether it's Stacey Abrams, whether it's fucking, you know, whomever, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, we need, you know, we need a rally behind the black women. They say no one is free until the black women are free. Tallarico is anti-Christian nationalism. I hear that, black-eyed. I hear that. But like, somebody who's anti-Christian nationalism and still a Christian is like they're going to be anti-Christian nationalism, but they don't have an impetus to, like, if a little bit of nationalism leaks into the Christianity, they're still safe and protected. And in fact, they're better off in a way, which is just a little bit different. It's a little bit different, you know, but I don't dislike the guy, right? You know, but I just don't trust him necessarily, you know, fully. Okay. Because I know that his Christianity is his number one thing. That's where his loyalty lies. You know what I mean? It's a black woman. You love me. You don't see any white political commentator saying what I'm saying about black women. Yeah, no, I know. And I think, Candy, it might be because, you know, here in Portland, you know, I moved from Los Angeles where I was, you know, like connected to communities of color. And I moved to Portland, Oregon, which is very liberal. But there's a very complicated relationship of white people and people of color in Oregon because of Oregon's white history. And then, you know, seeing Joanne Hardesty and seeing, like, moving into a mixed race neighborhood and watching what happened when I fucking remodeled my house and how it affected the neighborhood. Like, I've had some real lessons after moving to Portland about, you know, blackness and whiteness. And it's really changed me in a profound way. You know what I'm saying? Dude, ready for more MAGA morons to spend money? Let's go! Right? Dude, it's pretty crazy. You know what it was, guys? I don't know about you, but it was the act of buying a house. Okay? Once I bought a house and I saw what school ratings mean and what neighborhood ratings mean, and what happens to the neighborhood when white people moved into a mixed race neighborhood and buy a home and remodel a home. I experienced being an accidental gentrifier, and I discovered how truly racist America's systems still are. It wasn't, as a renter, I didn't see any of that. But man, when I bought a house, I was like, holy fucking shit. That's when I saw it. Like, goddamn, bro. I buy a house in a mixed race neighborhood and I automatically brought white supremacy to the neighborhood, even though I couldn't be further from a white supremacist. It literally came with me. It followed me. It was like I purchased a house and I ended up with a fucking hood, bro. And like with no intention, I moved into the neighborhood as a peacemaker and a joiner and a community builder, and the very act of me moving here, like, infected the neighborhood with white supremacy. And I was like, wow, dude, what fucking country am I living in? And I never realized that the extent of, like, neighborhood shifts and how there is gentrification where they purposely, like in some neighborhoods, they'll buy all the black businesses and they purposely drive people of color out. But then there's gentrification where simply white people move into a neighborhood and it automatically gentrifies, like, because the property values go up, they fix their homes, and then they push all the people of color out, even when they're not trying to do it. It's like, what the fuck, bro? And it, like, blew my mind. It just fucking exploded my head, dude. The process, like, kind of broke my heart a little bit, you know? Rep Sharp, we got the British invasion tour canceled in San Berto for canceling out boneheads in '08. Dude, what does that mean, Collapse? Dude, yeah. It's pretty crazy. Eyes wide open, man. Dude, it's all right. I mean, it made me a more concerned fighter. Okay? Chicago, biracial, worse, segregated. Is that what you were saying, Brooks? Dude, it really opened my eyes. You know, it really opened my eyes. Dude, we made goal. Dude, were you guys going up while I was in the bathroom? Or shit, dude? Did I miss any? Let me see. Did I miss any? No, I got them all. Oh, no, I missed Disturbed. Mansion is a prime example. Let's go. Thank you, Disturbed. So I did miss that one. I think I got everybody else. Let's go. And I call myself a punk. Dude, punk is DIY, boss. Remember that. DIY. Dude, let's go. We hit it before you left. Oh, let's go. All right. Dude, let's go. Dude, I love that we guaranteed a dance. All right. So let's see what we got here, guys. I do want to look a little bit at Megyn Kelly. Dude, because Megyn Kelly, not knowing what a sharp is, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Talking about a subset of the punk community? Is that what you're talking about? Right? I don't necessarily speak in lingo, right? Punks are not DEI in Netherlands. Dude, I mean, punk is like a wide-ranging thing, okay? It's like where I came from, though, it was the skinheads against racial prejudice. Got you. See, here, they don't call them sharps in Portland. That's not the term, and that was not a term that we used in California either in the 80s, right? For me, punk has always been just about DIY, okay? And not about separating into specific groups and shit like that. But guys, we got to talk a little bit about Megyn Kelly, okay? Because Megyn Kelly is fucking, dude, is just kind of nutty. I mean, because I feel like what's going on with Megyn Kelly is really illuminating to what's going on with the call it the white woman response. And Anna's tied into this too, guys. Okay, 𝗙𝗪𝗏, she's in this gray area, okay, where she's going to be a little different. But can we look at the Megyn Kelly exchange? Because this shit is crazy, bro. This shit is absolutely fucking bonkers. The exchange that she had right here with Claire Lehman. Okay? Dude, we got to look at this, guys. This is nuts, okay? She didn't deserve to be shot in the face. Yes, she did. She hit and almost ran over a cop. Now, dude, this is delusional, okay? That she almost ran over a cop. Like, dude, that is so delusional, bro. First off, he's not a cop. Thank you, Collapse. He's not a cop. He is an immigration officer who shouldn't be policing on the streets, guys. Okay? Can we go back to the basis of this, guys? Let's go back to the basis of U.S. immigration. Number one, okay? Being undocumented in America is not a crime. It's not a criminal offense. If you are undocumented living in America, you are breaking no law. You may have broken a law if you crossed the border illegally, okay? But you may have crossed the border with asylum legally and then fallen out of touch with the system and maybe undocumented. So maybe you didn't even break a law to get here. But crossing the border is illegal. Not coming in through a port of entry or through an approved way is illegal, that activity. The person is not illegal. If they get away with that activity and exist here, they're no longer breaking a law. Okay? Now, so the ICE people are not police officers. They are not there to be like, executing laws in the street. Their job is not to enforce the law on city streets. Their job is to enforce immigration laws, which mean if they catch a person crossing the border, it's their job to enforce that law and capture them and then deport them, which is the punishment for that crime of crossing the border. If there is an immigrant who doesn't have papers, who commits a crime and is in the court system, their job is to go in there then and marshal that person and take jurisdiction of them for deportation. If there is a person that needs to be deported, much like, you know, the U.S. Marshals will come and capture a criminal. Oh, this guy needs to be deported. ICE will come in and take jurisdiction over him. So they were not meant to be trolling the city streets. Okay? So this is fucking insane, because now what has happened is Donald Trump has decided to blur the line. Okay? Donald Trump has decided, because immigration is his own personal issue and the issue of his MAGA base, he has now deputized the immigration officials, those ICE agents, as though they are regular law enforcement people there to do the bidding of Donald Trump and the MAGA base. When in actuality, if an ICE agent says, come here, like, get out here, I need to talk to you, I can close my door and be like, fuck off, dude. I don't have to listen to him at all. Okay? If a Portland police officer comes to my door and says, you need to come to the door right now, that's a different story. Okay? Right? There's a different story. Maybe I don't need to answer that door also, but with the ICE people, I definitely don't need to answer it. Okay? If an ICE guy like pulls me over and says, get out of the car, I do not have to get out of the car. Okay? I would probably call a lawyer right then. Okay? I don't think I would necessarily, I don't know if I would fucking drive away or what have you. I may have the privilege to get away with it because I am a white man, but you know what I'm saying? But these guys are not cops. Okay? You know what I'm saying? These guys are not cops. Let them show you the warrant or kick down the door. Well, collapse. No, it would depend, because if there was a crime in progress that I didn't know about, or there was like my neighbors had suspected something was going on, there are some situations where cooperation, like non-cooperation, could be obstruction. It's not automatic, but there are some instances. But I'm saying with like an ICE officer, there is never a time, unless that guy catches me, right? There is never a time where you have to listen to an ICE officer. There are some times where you have to listen to a cop. There are, right? In your jurisdiction, there are some times where you do need to listen to them. There are a lot of times where you don't, but there are some times where you do need to acknowledge them and listen to them. I mean, I can give you a classic example, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, and you never have to answer questions, for sure. Like, for example, I used to live in an apartment where I got a lot of noise complaints. And sometimes the cops would show up when I had turned the noise off, but the cops were still banging on my door. And I absolutely had to answer that door, right? I absolutely had to answer that door, or I would create a situation. Now, there was an instance once where they knocked on my door and I thought it was my neighbor who called the cops. So I, in fact, went and turned my music even louder, and I almost went to jail that night. Right? Dude, my neighbor called because my music was too loud, and then a knock on the door, and I'm like, I thought it was my neighbor, and I turned the music up and was like, fuck you. And then I looked out the window, and they were shining flashlights in the window, and I was like, holy shit, I might be going to jail. And dude, you know what I'm saying? But it was pretty funny, right? You know, it was pretty fucking funny, boss. Oh shit. I DM you a complete breakdown of the relevant case law that touches on your point. Thank you. All right. But anyway, again, though, there are some times where you do need to respond to a police officer, but there literally are almost no times where you need to respond to an ICE officer. I don't want to get into a fucking long discussion about all of the shit about cops. That you could talk about that for hours because there's so many nuances. But my point is about the ICE people. The ICE people have no fucking jurisdiction over us. Okay? Ever. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? The ICE people have no jurisdiction over us. Like none. Like less than none. You know what I mean? And so this is fucking crazy, bro. Because the MAGA movement, guys, is trying to conflate ICE agents with their own personal law enforcement arm. Okay, you see what's going on, guys, that this isn't just about Trump, okay? And yes, the order of her to get the fuck out of the car was not legal. That was a violation of her civil rights. And putting his hand in the fucking window and trying to open her door is a huge constitutional civil rights violation. 100%. But guys, it's not just Trump, okay? This is my point. My point is this is MAGA. This is the MAGA movement. The MAGA movement has assigned ICE as their own personal law enforcement people, okay? They want ICE to start arresting Democrats and non-ICE people and protesters and drag them kicking and screaming. And anybody who gets in ICE's way, they want them to just blow them away because they have co-opted with Trump that ICE is now their personal police force. And Megyn is fucking like, is part of this, okay? I mean, look at this shit, dude. They're like, they think the regular law enforcement won't do their job. And I mean, look at what you have here. You have Nick Sortor coming to Portland and saying, dude, the Portland police are woke. Dude, the Portland police are not woke, guys. The Portland police hate activists. They hate the people that the right wing call Antifa. They hate protesters. They lie to them. They make up excuses to arrest them. They pepper spray them. They fucking shoot them with rubber bullets. The cops here are fucking douchebags. But the right wingers come here and ICE are their police and the cops here are like woke. Okay. So they have even like jumped over regular local law enforcement, right? In order to, take possession of ICE as their own personal police force. Now let's look at this. Okay. Let's look at this because I want to look at this general, like how she got into this fight. This is nuts, guys. Okay. This is nuts because this is why I say we need to bring in local police. Like local police need to become part of the coalition of fighting these guys. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Bet if they started an arm of that, it's something like the 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗎, these MAGA shitters would take that job. Oh, absolutely. Dude, you know what I'm saying? Right? And like, dude, this shit is crazy. Okay? Dude, and they're saying possessed by demons.
Fuck 𝗙rie𝗶𝗹𝗏. She deserves to die. Tell Mickey, I hope 𝗙rie𝗶𝗹𝗏's getting eaten by fucking worms.
Dude, that is like crazy. Like, dude, people are jacked, bro. People are jacked, right? Oh my God, dude. You know what I'm saying? Right? People are fucking like combative. That is like, it went from Charlie Kirk to Ashley Babbitt. Now we have Renee Good. And everyone's saying, oh, well, I'm treating Renee this way because you treated Charlie this way. And like, no, we're going to defend Renee this way because you defended Ashley this way. And like, we are all like sizing up, grabbing a piece of the side. But like, let's fucking get into this exchange here. Let's look at this shit because this is pretty wild. Dude, Megyn Kelly. Now, before we get into this, guys, we have to point out something about Megyn Kelly. Okay, like look at this, right? Look at this shit. Okay, they're like seeing there were people, okay, that were, you know what I'm saying? That they're like saying, people are saying, oh, we want to have these people killed or these people killed, but they're still, oh, just like they killed Charlie. So now they're like, oh, they don't care about Renee Good because they killed Charlie is where it's going. And now what'll happen is something will happen to a right winger and the left people will say, well, you didn't care about Renee, so now we don't care about this one. and we're just going sort of back and forth with it, okay? And right? And they're trying to, each side is saying the other side is trying to kill us, okay? Yeah, no, we are in a vicious cycle for sure, okay? But look at this. Let me see here. Okay, let's find her comment of this one in particular. Okay, so all right, let's go up. I guess I have to go to the top here and search for. Okay, so here was the exchange. Okay, the exchange was Alpha News obtained the footage, and then Megyn Kelly said you can literally hear the alarm in the officer's exclamation as he's hit. There is nothing left to debate here. Now, again, guys, okay, I'm going to go on the record and say this. Even if you do hit a cop with your car going 5 miles an hour, you do not deserve to be shot to death, okay? You know what I'm saying? Even if you run into a cop going 60 and tragically kill him, right, because you're a murderous person, I don't think you should be shot to death on the spot. I think you should be arrested and go through the fucking criminal justice system. I don't think peace officers should be shooting people on the street and executing them without a trial, okay? I don't think we should be okay with that at all, okay? But like the thing about this is if this guy gets hit by a car, he should get out of the car and then try to arrest the person. Shoot out the tires, okay? At that point, if she hit you and she's actually committed a crime, fine. Shoot the tires and then arrest her because she hit you, right? You know what I'm saying? But like to say that like, oh, she bumped me and I got knocked back. He didn't even get knocked back. But the idea that he was alarmed as there was like, you know, I mean, if you look at that video, I don't think she even hit her. He hit him. I think he we saw the phone. I think he put his hand on the car. I think he hit the hood of the car with his hand. And he was just ferociously upset that she refused to stop. But then he literally shot her point blank in the head multiple fucking times. And there's never a reason you should be shooting a citizen point blank in the head multiple times unless they have a gun to point it at you. Short of them having a gun or a knife to your throat, you should not be shooting an American citizen or anyone, even an immigrant. You shouldn't be shooting anyone point blank in the fucking head, bro. Okay? It's out of line. It's wildly unnecessary. But so she says there is nothing to debate here. And Claire said she didn't deserve to be shot in the face. And Megyn said, yes, she did. She hit and almost ran over a cop. Okay. And like, but what's crazy is if that car was weaponized, him shooting her and killing her could potentially cause his own death. That makes that vehicle now a weapon with no component of control to it. Now it's an out of control weapon that could kill anybody. Okay. And it's funny because people are in here, right? You know, challenging her about like, dude, what are you talking about? Right? This shit is irredeemable. And it is irredeemable because, guys, this is the same Megyn Kelly. Okay? Look at what she says. She says she hit and almost ran over. She didn't run over. She's just saying she bumped him. We know it wasn't a hard hit. The guy didn't even fall over. Okay? It wasn't an almost ran over, but she says she deserved to be shot in the face for bumping into that law enforcement officer. But can we go and look at Megyn? What she said, previously. About Donald Trump. Okay, can we look at some of this? Because look at this. Okay, right? Like, Look at this. This was Megyn Kelly in 2021, okay, about Governor Cuomo, a Democrat. And it says Governor Cuomo grabbed his assistant's breast under her blouse, felt her up, right? Yada, yada, yada. Told an aide he was lonely and wanted to be touched. She's livid. Okay. She said he denied some, but not all of it. They found his denials to be contrived. Chris Cuomo met with the governor's team to try and diminish this. She's like, oh my God, this is stomach turning. This is on 2021, right? Megyn Kelly is like livid about Democrat Cuomo essay, which legitimate. Okay, Megyn, that is a legitimate thing, okay? Now, let's look at what she says about fucking Trump, okay? Let's find this. Hold on, give me a sec to find it. Dude, I need to find the clip, boss. Hold on. Dude, you know the clip I'm looking for, right? Right? The one where she talks about Trump and like, oh, so he touched some people 20 years ago. Right here. You ready? Look at this.
My own personal opinion is most of the allegations against him are much more complicated than the mainstream media would have you believe. And I don't think Donald Trump is a rapist or a sexual assaulter. I do think he's taken inappropriate liberties with women and gotten handsy with them in a way he's owned himself. Okay. Years ago when he was a celebrity, and it is what it is. That's the past. But it's just about so much more than that. We are talking about how many people dying at the southern border because of the invasion that we've suffered under Joe Biden. We're talking about Laken Riley, whose killer was let in under Biden. We put him on a taxpayer flight down to Georgia where he murdered her. I don't give a shit about Trump getting handsy with somebody 20 years ago. I want someone who will close the border, which he has. I want someone who will keep boys out of my daughter's sports, which he has. I want someone who will stand up to the insane DEI policies so that white kids will stop hearing in school that they're born with some original sin from which they cannot recover, which he has.
See, isn't that crazy? The woman who's stomach turning for Cuomo grabbing a breast, her stomach was turning. This turns my stomach on many levels. But now she's like, you know what? As long as Trump closes that border and like hurts these trans people, man, I don't care that he got handsy. I don't care that he did Governor Cuomo. Whatever. Old news, right? Now, what's crazy? She mentions Laken Riley. Guys, 3,000 women get murdered every year. 3,000. One got murdered by the state 2 days ago, 3 days ago. But man, look at her. When somebody gets murdered, oh, she did. She almost did something. She bumped into someone and almost did something, so she deserved to be blown away. But man, Laken Riley, oh my God, dude, Laken Riley had been dead for a year and a half. And she's still talking about Laken Riley. Guys, this is fucking 2 weeks ago, bro. This is 12 days ago that she is like, you know what I'm saying? This is getting posted. I think the interview was a little older than that. Okay, this interview, but this is posted 12 days ago. When was her, who is this woman? I'm trying to figure out who that interview is. Let's find out when that was. It was Oh, did this literally happen? Oh my God, dude. Did this literally just happen? I thought this was old and just recently getting posted. Dude, there's no way. Oh shit, bro. It literally is, dude. Oh no. It looks like it looks like it is old. It was from earlier March of 2025, okay? March of 2025. Okay? It looks like when this fucking first came out. Okay? So she may be repeating it, but like my God, guys. Like that, you see that like schism there? Okay? You see that fucking right where now she is like, there's like a transphobia and there's this idea that like Laken Riley, one out of the 3,000 women who got murdered, and that's it. And so now if you're an 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗀 or if you are getting handsy, I mean, Donald Trump was getting handsy with like some teenage girls. Okay. He was getting handsy with Miss Teen USA contestants and getting handsy with some of the Epstein girls that were like 14. And she's like, man, I just don't care about that shit because Trump is like saying this shit about transgender people. And he's like willing to burn down the whole country and shoot some other women in exchange for like, you know, saying that he's combating the killer of Laken Riley. One out of like 3,200 women that were murdered that year. Guys, that's insane, bro. You know what I'm saying? That is insane. So, you know, I saw somebody say something about her being a white nationalist. Now, you have to wonder about this because, guys, you ready? You ready where this ties into 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗀? Okay, it ties into 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗀 because Megyn Kelly is all about Tucker Carlson. Okay? Like Megyn Kelly is a very big, right? Is a very big Tucker Carlson fucking fan. Okay? They are like communal in a way. Okay? Right? They are. I mean, we need to find it. Let me find just Megyn Tucker. She was getting into it with Ben Shapiro, okay? And she is like now a Tucker Carlson supporter, okay?
I was called a coward by Ben Shapiro.
All right, let's find one. I can't do it with the music. Dude, look at this, dude. This is hilarious, bro. Oh my God, dude. Okay? Dude, she is the Megyn Tucker thing, okay? Megyn and Tucker Carlson. Now, and yes, no, Diane is absolutely right. They are sensing the power vacuum, okay? They know that Trump is done. And even though Trump is threatening to run again and all this shit, like they also know that Trump is finished. Trump is not going to be around in 2028. They know that Trump is in all likelihood going to be a lame duck at the end of the election in November. And so Trump is going to just freak out for the rest of 2026. And then he's going to have no power basically come November after the Dems win the House. But so they're now rallying behind Tucker Carlson. Okay. And Tucker Carlson is, right, is like part of this white nationalism. Okay. And they're communing over this anti-Israel sentiment. Okay. They're calling it anti-Zionism, but I don't believe that these two are anti-Zionists. I believe that they're actually anti-Semitic, that it's actually not just about Zionism. They are co-opting the anti-Zionism because it gives them a safe harbor in order to do this shit, right? But these guys are definitely anti-Semitic. And yeah, dude, there are weirdly they're like pro Netanyahu, anti-Semitic. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. They're very confusing because they are pro-Israel, but they're also anti-Semitic. And they're like, dude, it's a bizarre find. But now, look at what you have going on, guys. Like, what the fuck is this? They are pro-Christian, yes. And pro-Christian is pro-Israel in as much as Israel, like, starts the rapture. But, like, guys, look at this shit, boss. Look at what we got going on here, okay? You ready? Look at what is going on with fucking this shit. Where was it? What was I watching earlier today? Okay, I got to find the one I was watching. Oh, yeah, here we go. Right here. Dude, Tucker's take on Renee Good. Okay, and so now what they're doing is they're taking the death of Renee Good and they're using it to sell us Tucker Carlson. Okay, they're selling us Tucker Carlson with the Renee Good murder. And guys, this is like the same, I'm telling you, this is the same side of the coin as Megyn Kelly, okay?
Tucker Carlson has called out his fellow conservatives for downplaying and even in some cases,
hold on here.
Tucker Carlson has called out his fellow conservatives for downplaying and even in some cases celebrating the fatal ICE shooting of U.S. citizen Renee Nicole Good. Cenk, are you surprised by this?
I am, and I am pleasantly surprised, and I don't mind saying it. I think what's happening is that the online shows freed from corporate media, Fox News, MSNBC, etc., are now beginning to realize where the American people lie. And the majority of American people were already against mass deportations, let alone these massively excessive violence that is being used. And this was unfortunately a perfect example of it. So I think what people like Tucker Carlson are doing is they're beginning to see, oh, most decent people don't want a 37-year-old Christian woman being shot in the head 3 times because she was trying to run away from law enforcement in that case. So look, this is the development that I was hoping for. But let's give you the facts on what he said.
I do want to just make a quick caveat to your statement about the difference between, corporate media and online digital independent media. There is an exception because Daily Wire hosts are certainly part of the digital media, part that we are in, obviously not ideologically, but in terms of where we air and broadcast our show.
Dude, she hates Ben Shapiro, boss.
They seem to have an inherent interest in dividing the country because what we've heard from Matt Walsh in the follow-up to this disastrous and tragic incident is only meant to divide Americans. But in the case of Tucker Carlson, he's trying to get people to think a little differently. And I think it's important for people to maybe consider this approach.
All right, now, why is this important, guys? Okay, I'll tell you why this is important. Okay, because in 2028, I don't know that TYT has a lot of influence in 2026 because of Trump's fucking damaging thing. But TYT is setting up now for 2028, okay? And they're setting up to be a wrecking ball that is going to try and sell the left-wing audience on Tucker Carlson being a populist because of the presence of Gavin Newsom. Because they know that right now Gavin Newsom is a very likely primary candidate winner for the Democratic Party. And 𝗙cie 𝗶𝗏 will burn down her entire fucking house in order to try and prevent Gavin Newsom from becoming president. Okay? Right? You know what I'm saying? And now, dude, TYT still has a left-wing bit of an audience, guys. You know what they have, guys? Can I tell you this? Let me just tell you. They don't have like a hardcore group of leftists that listen, let's go listen to Anna and Cenk. What they have, guys, is they have people for years that have given their money and given their time and given their energy to TYT. And so they feel out of a sense of obligation, they are still like connected to TYT and they're still like listening to TYT, and they don't want to accept the fact that they're sort of like, you know, like modulating over to the right. And so the thing is these guys are sinkers. Okay? They are sinkers. Okay? You know what I'm saying? They are sinkers. And Bongo, here's the deal. I hear what you say. You don't want a progressive as president. Okay? You don't. You want progressives in Congress. You need progressives making the law. The president cannot achieve anything progressive. If you have a progressive president with the current Congress, he would get nothing done. It would be a presidential gridlock. What we want as president, I don't know that it's necessarily Gavin Newsom, but you want somebody who will be ruthless with the expanded presidential power and who will actually use the expanded presidential power that Trump has created and use it like a fucking hammer and not sit there and cry about policy, but actually like fucking slam some shit. And that may be Gavin Newsom. It may be J.B. Pritzker. There's any number of people that could ferociously wield that. But dude, absolutely Gavin is capable of it. Now, we may have to push him if he gets in there, but he's certainly capable of it. You know, I think there are certain people like Josh Shapiro that would not do that at all. And there are certain people like John Fetterman that I think might actually try to run for president. Okay? I know it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, there's going to be a John Fetterman run for president at some point in the future, guys. I'm forecasting it. TYT has no left-wing audience. They have all left source. Trust me, bro. It is what white, liberal, and moderates now. I mean, that may be a fair assessment, collapsism, right? I'm just saying left. It may not be leftist, but they have left audience, okay? But dude, they're like, a lot of things are gonna brew here. You know what I'm saying? But like, dude, this though, these guys are poisoners, okay? They're poisoners, man. And you know what they're gonna do? They are actively campaigning for Tucker Carlson right now. And what's more about this, guys, is they are supporting people like John Fetterman. They're like saying he's reasonable, right? We're seeing a lot of these sort of like modulators. I say these guys are modulating because they're slowly trying to drag things to the right, to right-wing populism, because basically, like, you know, what you may have noticed with Anna and Cenk, I'm going to take you through this. And it's important that we think about this, guys, because we do have to contend with the party crashers, okay? Cenk Uygur is a Republican, okay? He got mad at George Bush. He became a progressive, populist, whatever, Democrat that then attached to Bernie's populist movement, but he was always anti-Obama. There was always a tinge of racism and misogyny to this network, even when they were progressive. Okay, they were still racist. They were still misogynist to some degree. Now, the problem is because of the racism and their anti-trans modulation, they realize that they can never be populist in the left-wing party. Their populism is going to move to the right because they like Cenk's roots are in republicanism. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And so the thing is their populism that they thought Bernie was going to fucking carry out, they realize it doesn't work on the left because of the civil rights, human rights issue, because of the race and gender and sexuality issue that they just cannot get behind. They tried, but they can't really do it. They can't stay true to it. So now their populism is going to land with someone like Tucker Carlson or anybody that's not specifically a Trumpy, but is anti-Israel, okay? And yeah, dude, the integrity, someone who said they're not grifters, dude, they went into an election year calling themselves Polymarket fucking Studios. Don't ever tell me that they are not grifters. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Dude, Let's go. Literally, you are correct. No left-wing audience. I mean, dude, I'm just calling it a left audience. You know what I'm saying? It may not be left-wing, but they still have an audience that is Democratic Party voters. Okay? You know what I mean? And they will sink them to, right? Because they profit. They absolutely profit more. They will profit more with a right-wing fucking president than with, you know, the president they hate, dude. Don't like the way they treated Fran. Dude, you know what I'm saying? I mean, dude, look at Tucker Carlson, guys. You ready? Look at Trump's oil meeting, okay? Remember Trump's oil meeting? Let's see the images here, okay? Let's see who's at the Trump's oil meeting. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that, bro. Yeah, there you go, Anna. There's your populist bullshit. Bullshit. Dude. Like, come on, man. Dude, Tucker is like, he's pro-Russia. He is fake populism. He is Christian zealot, fucking theocratic. He may be anti-Semitic, like theocratic, but he is definitely theocratic fascism. He just wants to be the guy who's at the pulpit, okay? Dude, and he has more money than you can imagine. Racist as shit, bro. Anti-LGBTQ, dude. And they are polishing the knob, guys. They are polishing the knob. They're trying to sell Tucker Carlson as the populist candidate in 2028. And they're doing it because of Gavin Newsom.
So his newsletter had the title, "The Minnesota Shooting, Venezuela, Gaza, It's All Connected." Interesting. Now, Carlson begins by stating that yesterday's shooting has served as an opportunity for conservatives to score political points because Good should not have been blocking the road with her car. Hysterical protesters took to the streets, and liberal leaders like Minneapolis Mayor 𝗙𝗹𝗹𝗪 are behaving like children. So there was some, typical conservative throat clearing that took place early on in this newsletter. However, that aside,
do you see that? Typical conservative throat clearing, right? Liberal, they're talking shit about liberals. But putting that aside, when we get in there, when we get past the conservative throat clearing of this extremist Russian stooge that's at Trump's oil meeting that is extraordinarily racist and anti-Semitic and every other like anti-LGBTQ, like crazy, wealthy, religious person. Dude, releasing edited video is not obstruction. Stop being a dumb lefty. Yes, no, releasing edited video is not obstruction. Absolutely not. But you see what I'm saying? You see do you see the turd polishing that she is doing? Like, right? She's like, I mean, dude, this is she's got the cloth, the chamois out, and she is like rubbing the turd, boss. Rubbing the turd.
He continues with this. The 37-year-old was an American citizen and reportedly the mother of a kindergarten-age child. I should note that, her child is now an orphan because the father of that child passed away previously. It's just it's tragic. I mean, if you value human life and you think about what the future of that child is going to be, it's a tragic story. It's not something to celebrate or win, political brownie points on. But nonetheless, he also says, did we disagree with her views on immigration? Probably, but that shouldn't matter. Her death is a tragedy, regardless of her partisan affiliations, ideological beliefs, or who pulled the trigger. How come so few conservatives are viewing this story through a human lens? And why, when something similar, like the killing of Charlie Kirk, happens on the other side, did many on the left celebrate because they thought his political positions were wrong? And here's Carlson's explanation for why the country is currently undergoing this type of depraved culture.
Oh, here we go.
Violence around the world is desensitizing Americans to violence at home.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, and I said something similar to that during the show yesterday when I was covering this story. I was just, I do think that we've been desensitized to people getting killed constantly.
Dude, like, hello, we've had 30 years of school shootings and no gun laws, right? We've invaded Iraq twice, right? Afghanistan occupation for 20 years, drone strikes every other day, right? Now we have a faction of America that's, you know, supporting attacking Greenland and just like rushing into Europe. We're a member of NATO and they want us to take a European fucking territory. Like, dude, like, hello? I mean, what does she think? She just discovered something like brand new? Dude, we dropped the fucking atomic bombs, dude. Like, you know, I mean, God, but she's like, my God, Tucker's brilliant mind. Now, by the way, the thing about this is I'm not going to like support people who were just shredding Charlie Kirk and saying all that nasty shit about him and celebrating and shit. Okay. I'm not going to fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit was like wildly crazy. But even with that, I don't think those people were doing it because of Charlie Kirk's political views. I think there were some people that were actively harmed by him. And so they were reacting to that harm in a way that was, you know, way over the top. And, you know, like some of it was wildly inappropriate, but it was coming from them being traumatized by the man's movement, right? I think Charlie Kirk was just a complicated individual because he instigated a movement of people that caused some people in America a great deal of harm. And so like, and what's more, it's like really confusing because, you know, Tyler Robinson, if he killed Charlie Kirk, we don't even know where that person sits on the political spectrum. Like the whole thing doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we don't know how much of that shit online was even bot driven. Okay. Because we know that Elon is the master of bot driven narratives, you know, but anyway, this like TYT. Okay, I'm going to just finish with this because we could listen to this whole video and it's all the same shit. The thing we have to take from this, guys, is that 𝗙ście𝗶𝗹𝗶 and Megyn Kelly are both occupying the same role on different teams. Okay, Megyn Kelly is desensitizing and destabilizing the MAGA movement because she senses the weakness. She's covering up for the Epstein pedos, but she's doing it to sort of like make way for a type of candidate that will take power and include her and elevate her, carry her up the rung of the ladder. She wants to be in on the next wave. And 𝗙ście𝗶𝗹𝗶 is doing the same thing. Now Megyn Kelly is very against Ben Shapiro. She's very against Candace Owens, right? Because of the black woman thing, okay? And there is like, I don't know, there's a sort of a lot going on there. There's a lot of various, like, you know what I'm saying? There's like, she's really allegiant to Tucker Carlson, but she's not going to completely shit on Candace. You know what I mean? I mean, dude. Like, what is her official fucking statement, right? You know what I'm saying? Is like, she's trying to protect. I want to hear this, right? I want to hear this fucking thing.
But my point was simply that I thought maybe Charlie helped me understand, to keep my powder dry in the whole thing, so that maybe I could be in a position to help it happen. It's what Erica wants. Maybe Candace does want an off-ramp, and I'm willing to try. So Candace and I were in touch, and she was very nice. She said, I'm thrilled it's you. I'll do it. So they were going to do it out here in Arizona, and then there was a security issue. Candace said
that meeting that happened in Nashville.
She couldn't come. And then Erica said, I'll go to you. I'll go to Nashville. She's just extraordinary. I mean, Erica's been all over the country trying to honor Charlie's commitments on his book tour. She was exhausted. She had this coming up this week. I mean, she's going through, she has 2 babies at home she's now a single mother to. But she really wanted to put this to bed, and so she said, I'll go to you. And then it morphed into, let's not do the live stream. Let's just do it, the 2 of us, which I thought was great. So they both went in there. Erica brought a trusted friend and employee here, and Candace had someone very close to her, and by all accounts from both women, had a very good meeting. Now, will it last? Where does it go from here? I was joking earlier, like, what's more tenuous, the Gaza peace deal or this situation?
Dude,
what I really want is for...
Dude, isn't it insane for her to compare Candace Owens and fucking Erica Kirk to Gaza? Like, they're so full of themselves, right? You know what I mean? They're so full of themselves, bro. They are like, oh, it is so whacked out. But anyway, right? Megyn is like Tucker, okay? She's anti-Candace, but she's not going to openly shit on her because Candace is really big. But this is like the Tucker wing. And Anna Kasparian is the same thing. They're both Tucker winging, right? They're like, I think they're trying to ride into some power. But dude, I'm telling you, there's a racism component here. Okay, there is a racism component here, guys. You know what I'm saying? There's a racism and an anti-Semitism component. There's a happy merchant component to these 2 women. And dude, I feel like they are like operating on the same team in a weird way, right? Where they're trying to find a non-Trump power that like is anti-Democrats, but will embrace enough of their populism that like TYT, that they don't look like they're hypocrites or something, you know? Dude, this is crazy shit, boss. Okay? This is crazy shit. Like, dude, this is head spinning shit. You know? It really is, dude. I mean, it's a little hard to process some of this stuff, dude. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, dude, it is pretty like the reason why I'm covering this, guys, is we are against MAGA in the next 2 years for this election through the presidential election. Okay, it's 3 years, 26, 27, 28. LeBrooks, let's go. Thank you, boss. But we have people in our own coalition that are here to like kneecap us. Okay, they are, dude. Fist bump. Let's go. Dude, we have to fucking keep, you like that? The happy merchant component? Dude, I'm not even lying, dude. I got blocked by Anna for making that video about happy merchant, dude. She jettisoned me, okay? I mean, she knows who I am, right? But, dude, it's gonna get crazy. The why I left the left, absolutely. Why I left the left is literally Anna's thing, but like, dude, she didn't leave the left. Okay, she left the left when she's talking to the right, but then she goes back and she's trying to bring the left with her. It's more like I'm saying I left the left, but I'm really trying to like take the left with me to this sort of middle right, like anti-Semitic happy merchant coalition. You know what I mean? And dude, we gotta go. Like I don't know, dude. This shit is like it's melting my fucking brain. Okay. But anyway, I'm going to go. All right, there's more to talk about, but I do have to go make videos. I'm hoping to get a rub trade with Jenny before we, I hope I didn't stay too late, but it is crazy. Crazy with banned words. I don't really know that I have banned words. I don't really have a lot of banned words. I think YouTube is censoring you. I have not banned any individual, like specific words in my YouTube channel. So if you are getting pinged with words, I don't know what it is, but but I have not gone through and banned a whole bunch of words. Nazi, no, I didn't ban that word. Like, that's YouTube. YouTube is like going crazy with the cheese whiz, guys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know what it is, right? Let me see. No Nazis, right? I mean, it's not banned for me, right? I honestly don't know what is going on. Like, YouTube is really weird. Like, I wonder if my ban that happened on January 1st was an automatic ban, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, things are getting weird. And tomorrow, I want to cover Trump's extremism. I wanted to cover it tonight, but we went on that tangent with Keith Edwards and shit, which I think is important. And so I do want to talk about Trump, some of his comments tomorrow with him saying, man, you know, you can stop me when I'm dead, sort of, et cetera, and his comments about Greenland. We do have to talk about Greenland and some of the reports that are coming out. Granted, it is like a Daily Mail sort of situation, so we don't know what's going on, but we do need to look at some of this stuff, okay? There is a lot. I know a lot of you are tired of Anna, but I feel like we still have to combat that a little bit. We still have to combat that, Anna. Like, Anna is still an issue for us, okay? And guys, frankly, I am going to still, through this election, try to minimize the damage that Anna and Cenk cause. And I'm going to try to keep us all, keeping, the Taylor Lorenzes, Brian Tyler Cohen, Pacman, fucking Hassan. We need all of us under the tent. You know what I'm saying? We need all of us under the tent, still fucking, hanging out, guys. We do. We gotta, we can't fucking shatter our tent like we did in fucking 24, boss. But now it's time for dance party, guys. All right, let's get into it. But you ready though, guys? You ready for something subversive though, guys? I will say this though. Come 2028, during the Republican primary, we're going to use Anna Kasparian because I think getting Tucker Carlson to win the primary over J.D. Vance would actually be advantageous. I think Tucker Carlson would be I think having J.D. Vance lose the primary would cause a brutal rift in the center of MAGA. And right? Dude, that would be really interesting, boss. Dude, we're gonna oh my God, dude. Decimate, bro. Decimate. You know what I'm saying? Decimate. Dude, what is going on with Saturna? Hassan is the biggest grifter of them all. I mean, dude, some people feel that way. Dude, Anna Kasparian feels that way. Dude, she's mad that he's making money and she's not. Dude, subhuman. Dude. Oh shit, dude, the Heritage Foundation, they have a Tucker problem. Tucker is hard to control in the right wing because his anti-Semitism pisses off the Heritage Foundation donors. The people that give Heritage Foundation money do not like Tucker Carlson. Dude, oh shit, bro. All right, you ready? Let's get stretched, baby. Here we go. Dude, yeah, no, J.D. Vance is messed up, boss. I think what's hard about JD Vance, guys, you ready for this? Here's what's hard about JD Vance. Last thing I'm going to say, then we're going to dance. The problem with JD Vance is he is working for people that he's not telling us. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has an agenda that is separate from the things he says, and we know he's got that agenda, but he's not ever going to leak what that agenda is because it's in that 𝗙𝗪𝗏, Peter Thiel sort of thing. So everything that JD Vance is operating on is a lie. Everything he does is a complete and utter fucking lie and obfuscation, because everything he's going to do is like shit he will never ever tell us about. Okay? It is all he is a liar, and he glommed onto Trump simply because he saw that as his opportunity to be able to sneak in there and fucking get his foot in that door and maybe pollute with all his shit to give all that power to those Silicon Valley guys. Okay? And so he is extraordinarily dangerous because he is like always lying. Like always, even more than Trump. You know what I'm saying? Dude, he absolutely system collapse, right? But system collapse with a framework of who's going to have power afterwards. You know what I mean? He is dangerous. Yeah. All right, you guys ready? Let's go, baby. Guyliner. Dude, I look better in eyeliner than JD too, boss. Are you ready? Let's get into it. Time to go, baby. Time to go. Oh, bring it home.
Got a lot of choices. I got a lot of ways that I can go. I hear a lot of voices. They have a lot to say, but I don't know. Been here before. Yeah, I do recognize the title. There's marble floor, and I don't need my eyes to see what lies behind that wooden door. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like things will turn out okay. Everything lately, I'm feeling so familiar. Coming on greatly, it's feeling like a million. I've been here before, yeah, I do recognize the title. This marble floor, and I don't need my eyes to see what lies behind that wooden door. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like things will turn out okay.
Let's go.
I'm coming up slowly. This feeling that I have now, almost a bit holy. An notion that I will make it out somehow. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like things will turn out alright this time. I know.
Dude, thank you. Let's go. Snow castles, oh, we drift to the edge. Just like snow castles, oh, we drift to the edge. Just like snow castles. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We drift to the edge. Thank you guys. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, let's hope that full chaos doesn't break out overnight. To the edge. See you tomorrow. Be good.
Yeah, let's do it again.
All right.
Freedom. You know I'm through with you. Your hoops are my obsessions, always jumping through. I'm so tangled, I'm so worthy. I'm just lost in my reflection. Pay attention. You never will. I will overanalyze and fall victim